The King Cabbage is one of the best seed pack seeds ever to be released inside of Roblox Grow a Garden. This thing is very, very big when you grow it without even trying. So adding just any kind of sprinklers and mooncats to this thing gives you a very big fruit to work with, which makes the value insanely expensive. And not only that, but we decided to get every single mutation on this thing with that very big size that it grows in to make the ultimate King Cabbage and to become rich inside of Roblox Grow a Garden. So make sure to watch until the end of this video to see the ultimate King Cabbage. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in 7 of these mooncats here that I have. All right, we have 7 mooncats. There's also new like pet loadout slots. So if I want, I could have like one for mooncats, one for my queen bee and butterfly. Since I tend to swap out pets a lot, it's easier for me to just keep doing it the way I normally do it. So that's how we're gonna do it today. All right, but anyways, now that we have all of these guys spawned in, we're gonna spawn in one of our triceratopses here. And now we're gonna go ahead and place our sprinklers down. So let's put our Grandmaster sprinkler, master, godly, advanced, basic, and we'll put our King Cabbage right in there. All right, our mooncats are on it, which is good. The sprinklers are doing stuff. So while we wait for this to grow, I must let you guys know, I actually have a new channel that I started with a team called Bandites Movies. Now, this channel will include some old content mixed into long form videos of over an hour long, and I'll also have some new videos on there that you guys may have not seen before. So if you guys want to check that channel out, the link will be in the description, or you could just search up Bandites Movies and you should find it. We already have some videos uploaded on there. All right, so here is our King Cabbage growing in. It looks pretty big. I don't know if this is going to be a multi-harvest. Let me make sure this is a multi-harvest fruit or not. Okay, this is a multi-harvest fruit. So whatever we get here, this will just be the plant and then we get the fruits on it, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and watering can it a little bit so we can get this thing to sprout up a little bit. So then our triceratops here doesn't have to work as hard and then he can focus more on just growing the fruits themselves. But looks like we're gonna have a pretty big one because look at all of our mooncats just surrounding this thing. This thing is definitely going to be huge. So let's see how much progress our triceratops actually makes on our King Cabbage. So it's at 21%. Let's see what he gets it to. Okay, we got a double. So now it is up to... It's still going. It's still going. 88%. Okay, that was actually pretty good. Thanks, my guy. Oh, dude, we got a heat wave right now. I wish this was a little bit later when this thing actually had some fruits grown on it, but I guess this will be one free mutation done, so we don't have to use as many mutations when trying to get it to rainbow. All right, to help speed this up a little bit, I'm going to use my main account here to use its watering cans to get our King Cabbage to fully grow in. So let's just get this thing to 100%. Whoa, it's moving. It's moving. That is scary. It's moving. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and use one of these medium pet toys on our triceratops to speed up his cooldown a little bit, and that should also help us get another double hit so we can see how big this King Cabbage will actually be. This thing is actually crazy cool looking. This is probably one of the coolest looking plants in this game, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that this thing moves around and it looks like you're opening up a portal or something, that's pretty cool. Oh, I think we got our King Cabbage here. It's literally gonna take up the entire plant. I'm not even gonna be able to see the plant anymore. That is a big one. All right, well, let's see how much progress our Triceratops makes on it. All right, our Triceratops is about to hit it. Maybe we'll get another double hit so we can see how much progress this makes. Let's see. 33 minutes. That was it? That was it? That didn't even make a dent in this thing. What the heck? All right, well, since that 33 minutes literally didn't do anything, I'm gonna actually go ahead and use the grow all button here on my main account because I think we're gonna be here for hours if we don't do this because this is such a big King Cabbage. Oh my gosh, dude, this thing is humongous. It looks like a giant egg. All right, I'm gonna really quick favorite it so I don't accidentally pick it up. We're gonna go ahead and pick up all of our pets here. We're gonna spawn in a queen bee to get her cooldown started with a butterfly here to get this cooldown started as well. So the queen bee will cool down the butterfly and the butterfly will convert all the mutations we're about to apply to this thing and convert it to rainbow. And then over here on my main account, we're also going to spawn in a queen bee over there and also spawn in our kitsune. So that way, whenever we get rainbow on this thing, we can apply chakra to it right away. Let's go ahead and apply some sprays so we can actually get this thing converted to rainbow. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a pollinated spray, shocked, chocolate. We will use honey glazed, and then I'll have my main account just apply a windstruck on it so we have a free extra mutation since we don't really need the windstruck spray since we have a pterodactyl. And there we go. We have our 5 mutations on here now, and our butterfly will convert all of these to rainbow, and then we can get started and actually apply other mutations to this so we can get the King Cabbage to have every single mutation in the game. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and AFK and let our pets do the work to get this thing rainbow, and then we'll come back and start applying some mutations to it. All right, our queen bee just cooled down our butterfly, and now our butterfly just applied the rainbow mutation to our king cabbage. So now our king cabbage is officially rainbow. So we can pick up these two pets, and then we can go ahead and favorite this so we don't accidentally pick it up. Let's go ahead and apply some of our mutations back onto it now. So we're gonna put our pollinated back onto it, sprayed, burnt, chocolate, fried, and honey glazed. And then over here in our main account, we're going to apply wet onto it, so that way this thing can easily get bloodlet from our kappas, or hopefully easily get it. We're going to apply cloud touched, and we're going to apply verdant, and then in a little bit our kitsune from our main account should come over and then apply chakra to this thing. So far that brings us up to 10 mutations on our king cabbage, so it's looking pretty good. And now we can start using some of our other pets to add some other mutations to this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start spawning some pets in. So let's go ahead and start off by using 2 disco bees here, so we can get disco done and out of the way. We'll go ahead and do 2 chicken zombies, since this one usually takes a while. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and skip out on the cooked owl, since we already have burnt and fried on this thing. So we're gonna go ahead and spawn in a corrupted scarlet and a Tranquil Scarlet. Since those guys have those mutations on them, we'll be able to get Corrupt and Tranquil onto our King Cabbage. And then since the Spaghetti Sloth actually takes quite a bit of time, I'm going to spawn him in now since he has 3 mutations he has to go through. And we do have the new Aromatic mutation on him. So this guy has about 4 mutations we'll be able to get from him. So I'm going to spawn him in now to start making progress on all of those. And then finally, for right now, we're going to spawn in our Raiju. That way, this guy can work to apply the static mutation onto our King Cabbage. And to do that, we're going to spawn in the Raiju. We're going to go ahead and put a carrot seed down. And then we're going to apply the shocked mutation to our carrot. And then our Raiju will come over here, eat the shocked carrot, and then apply static to our King Cabbage for that extra mutations. So yeah, we have quite a lot of work to do today. We have a lot of mutations to get through. So these guys will be our starting mutations, and then we'll get some more mutations shortly. And hopefully we'll be able to get a Sandstorm, Aurora, and also maybe a Celestial. All right, so our Kitsune is on the way over here to apply Chakra to our King Cabbage. There we go. We have the chakra mutation now onto our King Cabbage. Look at that thing. That thing is huge. He's gonna go bring it over to my main account now. So let's see. All right, we just got regular chakra. We did not get Foxfire chakra, which is fine. All right, so we just got static applied to our King Cabbage here. So we have another mutation done and out of the way. So we're good there. We do have wet applied to this, by the way. So next up, we're gonna go ahead and pick up our Raiju. Oh, Disco Bee time. Hold on. Okay, failed. Anyways, we're gonna pick up our Raiju here, and then we're gonna replace him with a Kappa for now, so we can try and get Bloodlet done and out of the way before it is too late and we get this thing frozen by like a frost event or something. We do need the wet mutation to stay on this, so we can convert wet to Bloodlet. I believe if this does get drenched, that can be converted as well, but once it's frozen, it's over. All right, here goes our first mutation from the Spaghetti Sloth. Let's see which one we get. All right, we got sauce stunts. Now we just need pasta and meatballs, but thank you, Spaghetti Sloth, for your service. I gave one of my chicken zombies here a toy to boost his cooldown, and instantly when I did that, his cooldown finished, and then he applied Zombified, so that is another mutation done and out of the way for our King Cabbage. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up these chicken zombies here, and we're gonna replace those guys with these new lobster pets, because these guys actually have a chance to apply Molten every 15 minutes and then apply Meteoric every 30 minutes. So yeah, that's a pretty long cooldown. It is going to take quite a long time to maybe get Meteoric, but we're gonna let them sit here and try to get us Meteoric, and Molten should be a pretty quick one though. But that'll be 2 new mutations we can get on our fruits like we used to be able to do when Brighter helped us with these videos. All right, perfect. We got Disco applied finally to our King Cabbage, so now we can go ahead and just pick up these 2 guys. So our Disco Bees are done and out of the way, and next we're gonna go ahead and spawn in a Corrupted Kitsune, so we can get Corrupt Chakra and then turn that into Harmonized Chakra. And then I'm also gonna spawn in a Pterodactyl here, so we can attempt to get Tempestuous done and added onto this. I'm gonna go ahead and plant down 3 carrot seeds as well. If our pets apply mutations to these, that's fine. Either way, our Spinosaurus will eventually eat the carrots and move this over. Our first lobster, by the way, just failed with Molten, and our second one did. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and apply, I guess, I'll put down 3 carrots here, so we have more opportunity to get Tempestuous out of the way, and then we'll have the Spinosaurus eat it and move it over to our King Cabbage. All right, I'm going to attempt to give my pterodactyl in here a toy, and also I'm going to give this lobster one. There we go, I got him. That way we could try to get tempestuous a little bit faster. Let's see. Oh, okay, so he did apply windstruck and twisted to one of our carrots, and this is the one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up and pick this one up. And then tempestuous is done. I don't think he applied it directly to our king cabbage. No, we just got windstruck, but that's fine. What we're going to go ahead and do now is pick up our pterodactyl here. And then we're going to replace him with a Spinosaurus. So the Spinosaurus will eat the carrots, tempestuous mutation, and then move it over to our king cabbage. So we have that one done. Let's see if these guys will give us molten and meteoric. I don't know if they'll give us both, but we have 2 chances for both right now. Okay, failed meteoric. What about our other friend here? He failed molten, and we got molten. All right, so we at least got one of them done. We got molten added to our king cabbage, but they did fail meteoric, which was kind of expected. Let's see what our spaghetti sloth does. Hopefully he actually applies a mutation this time and doesn't bug out. There we go. We got meatball added to the king cabbage. So we just need that pasta mutation, and then this will turn into spaghetti. Hopefully we'll be able to get meteoric done soon. I will spawn in some queen bee shortly once our spaghetti sloth gives us all of his mutations. All right, I just gave our spaghetti sloth the toy, and he instantly gave us the aromatic mutation from his mutated pet effect. So now we do have aromatic added on to our king cabbage for another mutation done, which is perfect. So once the spaghetti sloth here is done with his next cooldown, he should apply pasta, and then we'll have this thing to have full spaghetti on it, which will be fantastic. All right, we have some good and bad news. The bad news is actually that this frost event spawned in, and yes, this will get us frozen because we do have wet applied, but we don't want to get frozen because we're still waiting for our Kappa to try and apply bloodlet, although it's a very rare chance for him to. But the good news is that our spaghetti sloth is about to apply his final mutation, or hopefully he doesn't skimp out and just not give it to us. So our spaghetti sloth is doing his thing. Let's see if we get pasta. Hopefully we do. Okay, interesting. He applied it to the carrot, which is actually fine. I'm going to go ahead and just pick him up then. And we're going to spawn in another Spinosaurus here. And that way they'll just eventually eat that off of this carrot and then move it over to our king cabbage. Oh, and look at that. We're getting acid rain as well. I almost forgot that acidic was a mutation that you can get as well. So this might be a good one. We can get this added onto our king cabbage. All right, let's see. Did we get acidic added onto this? Doesn't look like it, unfortunately. What about this over here? Nope. All right, well, at least we got to experience the acid rain, but we did not get the acid rain. Okay, well, we've been trying to have our Kappa apply bloodlet, and we have had no luck because, as you can see, it is not on here, but that wet mutation that we had just got turned to frozen from this frost event, so our Kappa ran out of time, and he's kind of useless now. So we're going to go ahead and pick him up, get him out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next pet here, which is the new junk bot from the Albert Stuff admin event. So the junk bot will actually have a chance to apply the oil mutation onto your plant. So we're going to let him attempt to apply the oil mutation next. All right, just like I expected, we have a nighttime event, which means we don't have to actually use our tanukis today because this should give us pretty much instant moonlit mutation on our king cabbage here. So let's just wait a second. Yep, there we go. Our king cabbage is now officially moonlit, which is another mutation done. All right, so I'm going to feed some toys to my pets here. So we got a toy in our corrupted kitsune, hopefully get corrupted chakra. I'm going to feed some to my Spinosauruses so they eat from this and move over pasta and tempestuous, hopefully. Let's see. Yep, perfect. We just got pasta and tempestuous, the exact ones we needed. So we can go ahead and pick up this carrot, and then we can go ahead and get rid of these Spinosauruses for now. I guess in the meantime, then, I'm going to spawn in a queen bee to finally help us get some faster cooldowns on all of our pets here. We'll spawn in one of these hot dog dash hounds here, and these guys will actually help with cooldowns as well with the queen bee. All right, we just got a double trouble mutation set done to our king cabbage. Both of our scarlets finally just applied corrupt and tranquil onto our king cabbage, so those are both done and out of the way finally. That took a couple hours there, but we can go ahead and pick both of these guys up now. So now it's pretty much just up to the junk bot to apply oil and these lobsters to apply meteoric, and our corrupt kitsune to apply corrupt chakra onto this thing so we can have harmonized chakra. But they did make some good progress. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is spawn in another hot dog dash hound here to help with cooldowns, and then I guess we'll spawn in one peacock as well. All right, we got some good news here. We got a heat wave event, but I guess this is also bad news because I literally can't get to the plant itself to put more tanning mirrors down inside of it. So hopefully it will hit still. I don't know. I guess we'll try and get as close as we can. Oh, okay, it just hit. We're good. We got it. Our King Cabbage is now Paradisal, which is a much better multiplier than just Verdant itself. Okay, as you saw there for just a second, this carrot is actually lit up and it is finally Corrupt Chakra. Dude, we've been waiting for these mutations for such a long time. It's been hours and we finally just got Corrupt Chakra. We have not gotten Meteoric or Oil yet, dude. We're still waiting for these. It is taking forever. But since we did get Corrupt Chakra, I'm going to go ahead and pick up these carrots. I had them laid out so we had more chances for Corrupt Chakra since it was taking forever. And then I'm going to go ahead and spawn in a Spinosaurus. So the Spinosaurus will eventually eat this Corrupt Chakra and then move that over to our King Cabbage for that mutation to be added on there so we can get Harmonized Chakra. All right, so hopefully our Spinosaurus only eats the Corrupt Chakra from this carrot. I didn't realize we got pollinated from our Queen Bee. I've only had the Queen Bee out for cooldowns, but here we go. Please just eat the Corrupt Chakra. I've been waiting hours to get that one. And he ate the pollinated and he just put it right back onto the carrot. What is going on, dude? What is wrong with the pets today? I don't understand. Yo, we finally got Meteoric added to the King Cabbage, which took a very, very long time. So I actually thought that we maxed out on stackable mutations because looking at the wiki, it says you can have up to 24 stackable mutations. I thought this thing was completely maxed out to the point we couldn't get any more mutations on it, but now I'm not very sure because we just got Meteoric from our lobster added on to our King Cabbage. Okay, he just did the same thing and reapplied pollinated again. Okay. I guess instead of the Spinosaurus, we might as well try the T-Rex because our T-Rex will eat them and then spread them no matter what to multiple plants. I guess we can actually do like 2 T-Rexes and then maybe like 2 Spinosauruses just to guarantee that we can get Corrupt Chakra moved over. All right, our T-Rexes are about done with their cooldowns here. If they can't move this Corrupt Chakra over to our King Cabbage, then I've kind of given up hope that we are able to get any more mutations on this thing at this point because why is nothing going on to it anymore? So let's see if they actually eat and apply. Okay, there we go. We got Corrupt Chakra moved over finally, so this is good. We have Harmonized Chakra, so that is good. These guys are done with their business here, so I actually can just go ahead and pick up all these because that's all we needed. All right, and that is pretty good. Now, we pretty much just have to get Oil done and added, but this junk bot has literally failed like 20, 30 times in the last however many hours I've been at this. I've been at this for almost 5 hours, dude. I give up on the Oil, dude. My head is killing me, and I just can't keep going on listening to him say, grow a garden 5 million times. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pick him up. I am gonna go ahead and spawn in 2 raptors to attempt to get the Amber mutation. These guys have been aging quite nicely. They have a better chance now to get us Amber. Not the best, but much better than they were at. And let's go ahead and take a look at our King Cabbage here. So this thing is up to 22 mutations, but if we separate some of these like Tempestuous, we'd have 23 mutations. Spaghetti would make us at 25 mutations. Paradisal would be 26 mutations. And then Harmonized Chakra would be at 27 mutations. So if we're able to get Amber, would be at 28 mutations. And if we actually did get Oil and some of those other mutations like Aurora, Sandy into Ceramic, and Celestial, we would be way past 30 mutations. And this thing would be worth even more. But this is a good stopping point. So we're going to pick this up. Let's see if we get Amber. Okay, we did not get Amber. That's unfortunate, but we do have this gigantic King Cabbage here. So I can only imagine this thing will be worth a lot of money. Hopefully we can get over 1 trillion, but I guess we'll see. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see the value of this thing with Steven, and hopefully we get some good money for it. So Steven, what would you give us for this big King Cabbage today? All right, so this thing is worth 197 billion. I honestly expected a lot more than that just because of how many mutations we got on it and because of the size of this thing. But honestly, that's not bad. But for this many mutations, I feel like that should be buffed a little bit. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Is this a good value for this big of a King Cabbage with this many mutations? Or should it be buffed and be worth more? All right, that's all 8 of our Mooncats. We're going to go ahead and stack our sprinklers now. Let's go ahead and do that. We're actually getting pretty low on on our sprinklers, which is getting scary. So I got to make sure I stock back up. All right, there we go. We have all 4 sprinklers. We're going to go ahead and place some of these Zen rocks inside of here and see what size we can get on these things. I don't know if they're like bamboo where they grow really fast. That's my assumption. So I'm going to go ahead and plant a few of them and let's see what happens. All right, I don't actually see them anymore in the ground. Hello? Let me do some watering cans over here. I spread a couple of these around this area, but now I don't see anything. Well, one of them just became Tranquil, but I have no idea which one. I can't see. Oh, there they are. They're growing. They're growing. I really can't tell how big these things are going to be. They definitely look bigger than bamboo. They're definitely wider, so we'll see. And our mooncats are affecting some of them, so hopefully that helps them grow a little bit bigger. All right, I guess I'll throw some water on all of these just to see. Oh, there we go. Now they're starting to sprout up. Okay, that's better. Looks like this one is going to be our biggest one over here. It's only 25%, and it's already bigger than the ones that are at 30%, 40%. So I think we might have our Zen rocks. I'm going to go ahead and throw some more watering cans in there just to see what happens, see if this helps. All right, yeah, this 61% is pretty big. I think that's going to be our biggest one. Look how it's like tilting. That is insane. So I'm going to go ahead and favorite this giant Zen rock tower right here, and then we're going to carefully pick up the rest of these. Did I even favorite the right one? I can't tell. Okay, now I favored it. That would have been bad. I almost picked them up. All right, we're good, though. We have our Zen rocks, and they do have Tranquil on them, which will save us 1 mutation slot to get this thing rainbow. But, yeah, these things are giant, like very, very tall. It actually hurts my eyes to look all the way up there. But let's go ahead and spawn in our queen bee to get the cooldown ready and spawn in our butterfly as well. This lovely queen bee right here will cool down our butterfly by a few minutes faster, and then we'll be able to get our Zen rocks rainbow. But to do that, we do need 5 mutations. We have Tranquil, which is our first one. So in order to add on to this, I'm going to put chocolate on there. We're going to put pollinated on there and shocked. And there we go. Now we have 4 mutations. And then I'm going to go ahead and add on a honey sprinkler, which will bring that to 5 mutations. And now we should be good to get rainbow. I also am going to unfavorite this because we need to make sure that the butterfly can actually apply the rainbow mutation. And we're just going to AFK for a minute, and we'll be back once all this fun stuff happens and we get rainbow. All right, we only have a few minutes left for that queen bee cooldown, so we're gonna go ahead and give our queen bee a toy here, and that will actually cut down the timer to about 50 seconds left. We also have a tropical rainstorm going on right now, which could give us the drenched mutation. However, I didn't know you actually cannot stack drenched with frozen. I'd always try to get drenched, but once you have frozen, it does not stack. Frozen is the best like wet mutation that you can get technically. So we're just gonna go for frozen on our Zen rocks today. We're not gonna really worry about the tropical rain being here at the moment. All right, but here we go. The queen bee is now cooling down our butterfly, and our butterfly should go ahead and apply the rainbow mutation to our Zen rocks. There we go. Our Zen rocks are now rainbow, so we can go ahead and pick these 2 up. And now we can go ahead and apply some other mutations back onto this. So let's go ahead and put our pollinated back onto those Zen rocks. We got cloud touch we can add, shocked. We also have chocolate. We're gonna go ahead and also put a honey sprinkler back down on this. There we go. We have honey glaze on our Zen rocks now. And then on our main account, we have a couple sprays we're going to use. So on our main account, we're going to go ahead and apply the Amber mutation, and we're going to apply chilled. The last couple of videos, we did not go for chilled. We were going to try to get ceramic, and I heard that you couldn't get ceramic if you already had frozen. However, if we get frozen, all we have to do is get sandy and then apply wet to that, and then it's fine. All right, so we should have all of our mutations here. I guess the only thing we probably should have done, though, is actually applied wet first, and then we could have used our new Kappa pet here, because this guy actually will apply the wet mutation, and then it says that it has a 10% chance replace wet mutations with bloodlet. But I guess we can't really get wet now directly on this, so we can still get moonlit though, so that's fine. We'll just note that for next video. So let's go ahead and spawn in 2 disco bees so we can work on getting disco mutated on our Zen rocks. We're going to spawn in 2 chicken zombies to get zombified. We're going to spawn in 2 cooked owls for either cooked or burnt. And then we're going to go ahead and just spawn in a scarlet for a chance to get the verdant mutation. That way we can get paradisal done if we get a heat wave event. And then we're also going to go ahead and get a sea turtle down so we can work on getting that chilled to frozen quickly. At the time being though, we are up to 8 mutations currently, and with all these pets and some of the other pets we have to use, we should be able to get this thing stacked up very nicely with mutations. And hopefully we'd get a sandstorm though. We definitely need a sandstorm. Oh, it looks like my main account, Kitsune, is coming over here. Simon is about to apply chocolate to my Zen rocks, and he just did. and he's yoinking them to go to my main account. All right, enjoy those, main account. And there we go. We now have the chakra mutation added on. And then hopefully with that, we can get the Foxfire chakra mutation added on to our Zen rocks. But so far, we did get the regular chakra mutation, so that's good to have on here. All right, our sea turtle just applied wet to our Zen rocks, which officially makes these Zen rocks frozen. So that is good because now when we have a sandstorm pass through, we can get sandy, and then we can reapply the sea turtle to get it to clay and then turn that to ceramic. Anyways, let's go ahead and pick up that sea turtle, and let's go ahead in the meantime spawn in a pterodactyl. For the first time, we have one of these on these videos, and the pterodactyl will passively over time try to apply the windstruck mutation, but there's also an 18% chance to get twisted, so then we could get tempestuous, and that will be easy, so we can skip out on having to wait around for the tornado events. Our pterodactyl just used its ability and applied windstruck to our Zen rock, so now we have windstruck added on there. But conveniently, we actually had a windy event going on right when the pterodactyl added windy. However, we still need the pterodactyl to be around to hopefully apply the twisted mutation, as it can also do that. All right, we got some more toys here. Our cooked owls are almost ready, so I guess I'll just I'll feed them to these guys. All right, let's see if they do anything. Hello, cooked owls. Okay, well, I guess they applied burnt. I didn't see anything actually come up on the top notification, but they did end up applying burnt for us, which is good. Well, this is news to me. As you saw, my pterodactyl didn't do anything whenever the timer ran out. And that's because the pterodactyl actually does not apply twisted if your plant or fruit is already windstruck. So the pterodactyl has a chance to add twisted with windstruck, but if it does not apply windstruck and twisted at the same time to get tempestuous, then you won't get tempestuous. You have to actually get a twisted event to occur. But with that information, we are going to have to just pick up these pterodactyls. They did their job, and we kind of just wasted some time because we didn't know that, but that's fine. Now we can go ahead and place these tanukis, and these tanukis actually have a pretty short cooldown. It's only every 10 minutes, but every 10 minutes it can cause mischief and cause different mutations to happen. So you can either get like chocolate, I believe, and you can get moonlit, which is the one we're going to try and get with these guys, and you get a bunch of other ones. We're gonna hope that these guys will give us moonlit if we don't get a night event. All right, I got some more pet toys here. I'm going to attempt to feed to all of my pets to see if it helps boost their chances of giving me anything. So, okay, I accidentally just used it on my tanuki. I wanted to use these on my scarlets here. Okay, that failed. Let's see if this one fails. That one failed. Okay, we're just gonna give these to all of our current pets and see if we get any mutations. Okay, there we go. We got disco done. All right, let's try it to our chicken zombies here. All right, so everyone should have a little bit of a boost now and should be able to hopefully get us mutations, but our disco bees are done, so we're gonna go ahead and pick those guys up and get them out of the way. And I guess because we still don't have our chicken zombies done or our scarlets for verdant or zombified, I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in another scarlet and another chicken zombie just to keep increasing our chances to get those done. But we do have disco added onto this now, which is 12 mutations added onto our Zen rocks. And there we go. Oh, a bunch of stuff just happened. Tanuki caused mischief, and it cooled down our scarlet. That's good. And our chicken zombies are good. We have zombified applied to our Zen rocks. Now, also, this is not favorited. I should probably refavorite that just to be safe. I don't want to accidentally pick that up. So, chicken zombies are good. I'll pick these guys up. They will save the rest of their buffs for later. Our scarlets are all placed down, and our tanukis. So, I guess what we'll do now is I'm going to also just go ahead and place this mimic octopus. I don't really care if he mimics our scarlets or if he mimics the tanukis. As long as he mimics any of them. Oh, I didn't even realize, but it is the top of the hour, which means Zen Aura event is happening, which now Tranquil is added back to our Zen rocks. So now we're up to 14 mutations on our Zen rocks, which is awesome. What I'm going to go ahead and do real quick is because I don't want to miss my opportunities on this account whenever the Zen Aura event actually goes away, is I'm going to make sure I actually go into the Zen shop and I purchase one of these pet shards for the Tranquil mutation. That way this account will have it and we can always make sure we can get Tranquil after this event ends. Right now it's so easy to get. I'm going to go ahead and apply this to one of my scarlet birds here. I guess I'll do it to Cappy. Okay, so it looks like it is a 100% chance, but now Cappy has the ability to apply the Tranquil mutation every 20 minutes. So whenever this event actually does end, we can still get the Tranquil mutation. Okay, so one of our Tanukis just applied the Moonlit mutation to our Zenrox, which is what we needed. So now we really don't even need a nighttime event. So I can pick up these two guys, and now it's just up to our Scarlets, which 2 of them are almost done with their cooldowns. And we also have our Mimic Octopus going to mimic them since they're the only pets now. So if we can get Verdant out of the way, then we can get this thing to Paradisal shortly. And then after we get Paradisal, then we can just focus on getting Ceramic and Celestial. Oh, okay. Well, if we didn't get the Moonlit, I guess we would have gotten it now. Alright, we finally got Verdant applied to our Zenrox, which means now we just need to wait for a Heat Wave to get that Paradisal. And we also, hopefully, will get a Sandstorm before we get a Heat Wave, so we can get Sandy, turn that into Clay, and then get Ceramic. Okay, perfect timing. A tornado literally just spawned on top of my Zenrox, and we just got a Twisted Tornado event, and instantly we got Tempestuous added to our Zenrox, converted our Windstruck to Tempestuous. So I guess we're good. Literally the first tornado that spawned in was right here. Quick and easy, I guess, for this event. All right, we are about 4 hours into recording this, and we are still only at 16 mutations. We are missing Aurora, Celestial, and then I also wanted to get a Sandstorm so we can get that to turn into Ceramic, and then we could get a Heat Wave, so after we get the Ceramic, we can also get our Verdant to turn into Paradisal. But overall, we're really only missing, I guess, 3 mutations, and we could convert that Verdant to a better mutation, and that is pretty much all of the legit mutations we would be able to get without admin help. So overall, our Zenrox are looking pretty good, and I think this is a good time to still check the price with Steven for the 16 mutations we have on this thing. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and unfavorite this to check the value, and again, I know people are always like, Bandites, use the magnifying glass. Well, the only reason I don't is because I swap these plants out every video and I clear my garden. So I'm going to pick it up no matter what. All right, but anyways, let's go ahead and unfavorite our Zenrox here and go ahead and pick them up. This is going to be crazy to hold. Look at this thing, dude. All right, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and favorite it, and we're going to go ahead and walk over to Steven with our slanted Zenrox. I hope I don't drop them, and let's see what the value is when I talk to Steven. Hello, man. I need you to give me a value for these Zenrox. What are you thinking today, Steven? Let's check the value. All right, so these things are only worth 4 billion, and that is with 16 mutations on them. And I mean, honestly, that's not too bad. These things I feel like are kind of like bamboo, where you just kind of spam it around your garden. So if I had a pile of these, I spammed all these mutations on a pile of Zenrox, then honestly, in the end, this thing would have made a lot of money. For just making one, I don't know if this is very much worth it. I'll leave that up to you guys. Let me know down in the comments below if this is worth it. All right, there's all 8 Mooncats. We're gonna go ahead and plant the elephant ear right here to begin with, and then we're gonna get our sprinklers out. So let's do the usual. Let's get a master sprinkler on it, a godly sprinkler, basic, and advanced. All right, there we go. We're all set. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing to grow. We're almost there. Come on. Grow in for us. The Mooncats are already napping, so hopefully the fruits on this thing become gigantic. All right, there we go. We're officially grown in. We have our elephant ear plant ready to go. Now we actually have to just wait and get an elephant ear fruit to grow in. All right, we've used over 1,000 watering cans on this thing, and this is the only progress we have so far. Ooh, this is tempting. We have a rainbow one that's growing in. And it always takes us a lot longer to get rainbow because you have to use the butterfly, which like takes 20 or 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, look at how big this one is that just grew in. Okay, we might have a winner on the size. So even though this one's rainbow, I think we have a winner of which one we're going to go with, which is this gigantic elephant ear. And we're gonna go ahead and put some polar bears down so we can get chilled going. And then we will do our sprays like we normally do. So we're gonna do shocked on that. We're gonna do chocolate on it, and then we're gonna do pollinated on it. All right, we're good there. We're gonna also get a honey sprinkler set on it so we can get honey glazed. All right, honey glaze is there. You can see the effect. And now we just need one of these polar bears to chill this one, and then we could start aiming to get rainbow on it. All right, well, our polar bears are trying to get... Oh, Well, it looks like they just got chilled on this one, actually. So I believe this one has all 5 mutations on it, but I can't really check until it's fully grown, which is a bit of a problem. But we can start making progress. I'm going to get a queen bee out, and then we're going to get our butterfly out so we can convert this elephant ear to rainbow. And again, the queen bee has a 5-minute shorter cooldown than the butterfly, so we can get that rainbow effect on this elephant ear 5 minutes faster than we normally would be able to. All right, I can tell watering this thing and with all the sprinklers on it, it is definitely making growth progress on the fruits. The elephant ear that we're going for right here is actually slowly growing. I'm seeing it every couple seconds just get bigger and bigger. It's really hard to tell though the size because this thing is digging into the ground. Okay, so the way that the elephant ears grow in Grow a Garden is that the first layer grows in, which is like the outer layer, and then you get this inner layer that grows in. As you can see for this one, here's the inner layer growing. So here's our elephant ear that we are working with. This is the inner layer that is growing in now. The outer layer is over here. The inner layer looks to be bigger than the actual outer layer. As you can see, this is gigantic. Like, this is huge. All right, so the queen bee's cooldown is finished. That should help with our butterfly here. And now the butterfly should go ahead and add rainbow onto this gigantic elephant ear. Wait, what? What's going on? Why is it not doing it? The butterfly didn't seem to do anything, but I don't know exactly why. All right, I actually had to just save a clip because I just saw the polar bear applied chilled to the elephant ear. I thought this whole time we had chilled, it kept failing, and now I think we officially do have chilled on it. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot that there's actually a 3rd layer to the elephant ears. So there's like out, middle, and in. We only have 2 layers done on this one, and the 2nd layer is not even done yet. I just want to point that out. We've used over 6,000 watering cans on it now, and that 3rd layer still hasn't even peaked out. And these ones are still even growing here, and these have been getting the same amount of watering cans. So I can only imagine this is going to use up probably another 5,000 plus watering cans to finish this. So honestly, we might just AFK until it's fully grown. All right, so we stacked some sprinklers and we have a sighting of the 3rd and final layer of this elephant ear. So we are definitely making progress. We are getting there. This thing should be done hopefully soon enough. All right, something I didn't think of is that I could have bought the grow all sign in the front of my garden, and I think that would have sprouted all my fruits. Let me go ahead and test that on my main account real quick and see if I can grow all my plants with my main account. All right, I just did it, and it looks like that actually worked. So if we did that to begin with, we would have actually saved a lot of time and a lot of watering cans. Oh, and the queen bee is doing her thing, getting the butterfly to convert my mutations. And now look at this giant elephant ear. It is now rainbow. This is a huge elephant ear. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now that it has rainbow is put pollinated back onto it. Then we're going to put shocked back onto it. We're going to put chocolate back onto it. And then we're going to use the honey sprinkler. All right, now that should have caught us up. So now we should have, yep, there we go. We are back up to 5 mutations. And when the polar bears do their thing, hopefully we get chilled back on this. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the rest of these elephant ears though, so they're out of the way. Once this is chilled, we can officially move forward on doing the events to get the rest of the mutations that we need. All right, there we go. Polar bear applied mutation chill to elephant ear. So we're going to go ahead and pick up all these polar bears now, and we are going to spawn in some other pets. So we're going to spawn in 2 scarlets for the new verdant mutation that they can add to the plant. We're going to go ahead and spawn in 2 of our chicken zombies to hopefully get zombified. We're going to go ahead and spawn in 2 disco bees as well, and 2 cooked owls. So that way we have a chance to get all of the pet mutations that we need. So we can either get verdant, cooked or burnt, zombified, and disco, and that will add on some mutation to this thing. A friend actually told me this, by the way, and I think a couple people in the comments told me this, but you can actually highlight certain fruits specifically. So if we go ahead and favorite the big elephant ear over here, just so we don't touch it by mistake, we can actually use our shovel to delete these elephant ears that are growing in individually. So I probably am just late to this information, but this will actually help so we can get rid of some of these elephant ears that grow in that we don't want. So hopefully our pets will target mutations on the only one that we have. Oh, disco bee, he just applied disco to this. Cooked owl, come on, cook or burn this elephant ear. I don't care, I want either mutation. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Good job, cooked owl. I'm proud of you. We now have burnt and disco on this thing, so now we can pick up the rest of our cooked owls here, and we just need these chicken zombies to get us zombified. So I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in some more chicken zombies and another scarlet bird, and that is some better chances to get the rest of the pet mutations that we need. Let's go! Our scarlet just applied verdant to our elephant ear, which now means if we get sun-dried, we can get paradisal. But there we go, we got verdant on it for now. All right, so Brighter is officially here, about to queue up all of our events to spam mutations on our giant elephant ear. The only problem is that I left the game to go AFK, and I completely forgot about keeping my plot. And since he's already here, I don't want to have to rejoin and go over there. So we're just going to wing it and see what mutations we get. All right, but we're going to go ahead and prepare here. I'm going to go ahead and move this elephant ear over here, but the only problem with that is these tanning mirrors and star collars that I placed down will no longer reach. Well, this one might, but it's a little too far away, so we're gonna have to put a new one down. Let's go ahead and just get rid of that one just so we're safe, and then we'll go ahead and put one here just so we can make sure it hits. And then the tanning mirrors will go ahead and move as well. I'm gonna put one over here, and then I'll put one over here, so that way we should be able to get sun-dried pretty easy. And we're starting off with a bang. The galactic event is here, thanks to Brighter as always. Hopefully we can actually get the galactic mutation from the space travel event. It is a difficult one to get. It's a pretty low chance, but I really want to see if we can get it legit this time. Oh, a fruit in your garden turned to moonlit. However, it's this little thing and not the big elephant ear. We gotta keep trying to delete these elephant ears and getting them out of the way. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this little one right here that got the moonlit on it, and we should be good. Oh, I just saw something get moonlit, and it was our big one. Perfect. We needed moonlit. We got moonlit. Please, space engines, can you blast and give my elephant ear over here? Can you just give him galactic? What's back here, by the way? Oh, I can go in here? Hello? Let me in. All right, these space travel events only last about a minute. Oh, I think it's ending. Okay, it's blasting away. And we're now into alien invasion. Well, did we get galactic? No, we did not get galactic. I think alien-like we should have a better chance with. Hopefully, we see alien-like appear, and hopefully we get a UFO to attack. Now, if the UFO does attack, we need to make sure that this little guy is gone. Yo, Steven? Steven? Hey, buddy. Can you tell those aliens to please mutate my elephant ear over there? Look, it's gonna be worth a lot. I promise I won't empty your pockets with it, okay? Oh, okay, nighttime just ended, though. Now we're in full effect of daytime aliens. I thought it was gonna be, like, really dark, nighttime scary aliens, but we have daytime aliens. Looks like the aliens don't want to have any part of my elephant ear production. Well, we're gonna have to wait for alien-like. We did not get alien-like, but there's chances to have that added in later. I don't know what our chances are for plasma because Jandel kind of just shoots the floor now. Oh man, we're gonna lose out on another event, I think, just because this one be bugging. All right, well, plasma was a fail. I don't think I could get plasma when he doesn't shoot anything but the floor. You're looking pretty nice, Jandel. Would you mind, giving some of your heavenly touch to my elephant ears? All right, the queen bees are cooling down. Some chicken zombies attacking and failed. All right, we're down to our last heavenly event. He's gonna bloop away, but we're down to our last one. We'll see if this thing gets heavenly mutation on it with this last heavenly event, but if it doesn't, we gotta move on to the next one, and hopefully these chicken zombies get us zombified. But so far, our event luck today is garbage. Very garbage. Oh, but here we go. We have the heat wave event coming through with our sun-dried chances, and bam! I think we just got it, actually. Yeah, we got paradisal, but we have a chance to get sun-dried back now, and that will increase the money on this even more. There we go. Tanning mirror just got hit. Easy. And there we go. Paradisal and sun-dried. So we're looking good. We're getting more mutations, but we still have quite a few left that we have to get, and hopefully we get every single one of the rest of these that are about to play out. Oh, the meteors are here, and one literally just like landed right in my plot, but I didn't get meteoric. So we'll just wait a second. Hopefully we get one to hit. I'm just gonna sit right here and chill. Let's see what happens. Oh, these are literally like right on top of my garden. I think to help with this one, I'm gonna trowel this over here, and then we'll move it back, but I'm gonna put it like right in the middle, so that way if a meteor hits, it has all of this that it could land on, and hopefully we get meteoric by this. Yeah, like that. Come on, give us the mutation, give us the meteor. Yo, right here, right here. Oh, it was so close. He was, oh, right here. Yo, that's on. That is on. That literally touched it on the corner over there. Did we get it? How did we not get that? And I think that's it. But we're into the black hole. Okay, we got a good chance for Void Touch. Usually Void Touch is an easy one. You don't really have to do anything. It will just kind of happen. Void touched, void touched, void touched, void touched. What do we got next? Oh, okay. This one is a pretty good guarantee. We have a meteor shower, which will get called in by these star crawlers. I kind of wish the star crawlers called in the meteors from the admin meteors. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Right on that. There's no way that doesn't get Celestial. That literally touched everything there. There we go. Perfect. We got Celestial. That's another one down. Oh, it's windy, and it's actually somehow pushing me. Is this new? I don't think it pushed you before, did it? Maybe I just move around too much to not ever notice, but it actually pushes you if you don't move. I don't know what I could do, if I should move this plant to see if it'll increase chances. I mean, I guess now that the star crawlers are used up and we're good with that, I could try and move this and at least, you know, put it like out here. Ow, that's landed on my head. But whenever the tornadoes spawn in, maybe this will be a better chance to get twisted if it's poking out like this, because this goes out pretty far. I mean, oh, look at that. I literally just moved it. We got wind struck. All right, the wind event has ended with some more wind because there's tornadoes now. But yeah, these twisters are a lot faster now. So in the last update, they actually made 2 twisters spawn into the map at a time now, and they spawn in at different spots. They don't just spawn in the middle and then move around. They actually spawn around the map and then move around. So much easier and better chances now to actually get twisted. Oh, here comes another one. I'm gonna move it over here towards it. Come on, twist it up, tornado. Come on, let's go. Give me that twisted on it, please. Please, buddy. Yes, let's go. We got it. We got twisted. That's another one we can check off our box. Perfect. So moving this thing around definitely helps with getting twisted. All right, we're almost there. So now it is raining, which can apply wet to our elephant ear, which will then combine wet and chilled and make frozen. So let's see if that happens. One of our chicken zombies just applied zombified again, but it went to our other elephant ear that's trying to grow in. So now we have 2 elephant ears with zombified that we're not even going to use. All right, here we go. Volcano time. Let's see if we can get this thing molten. This is pretty big. It has a pretty wide range. It's covering almost our entire garden on this side. So as long as we can get one of these molten cubes to land, it should get molten. Let's see. I don't see molten, but these are getting pretty close. That's good. I don't know if I should back it up and put it over here just so we have a better chance, but we can always trowel it into the molten and see if that helps. Oh my, that literally was like on top of this. That was on top of it. Wait, this one got molten right here. Did this one? Yo, let's go. We got molten. We got another one down in the bag. Perfect. So we're missing about 8 mutations, and we could get chilled into frozen, but we did get 15 mutations here on this elephant ear, which is a pretty good amount. But we're gonna finish this video off by having Brighter join the server and add the rest of the mutations that we need on this thing, including Dawnbound, as he's able to add Dawnbound onto any plant in the game, and we're gonna see how much this thing is actually worth. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pick up our elephant ear as the map explodes behind us, and here we go. We picked it up. Let's see what this thing looks like in our hand. All right, so as you can see, we have our giant elephant ear. It does shrink down now that we're holding it, but if I hover over this, you can see the percent chance on the chicken zombie, and you can see all of the other mutations that we had so far on this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this in my inventory, and we're gonna have Brighter add the rest of the mutations onto this thing. Brighter is here in the server. He is going to add the rest of the mutations that we need on our elephant ear, which are the following: zombified, galactic, alien-like, plasma, heavenly, meteoric, bloodlit, void touch, frozen, and Dawnbound. He's gonna add Dawnbound onto this. I think it's ready. All right, we got it. All right, thank you to Brighter as always. We now have every mutation in Grow a Garden on the elephant ear. So now it is time to check with Steven and see how much this thing is worth. So we're gonna go ahead and go up to Steven. How much is this worth? This is 420 billion. That is actually a really good value. So this thing is worth quite a bit of money, nearly $500 billion. So elephant ears are definitely worth it, and you get more of them than the sunflowers. So honestly, elephant ears, I think, are the way to grind if you want some money. However, the seed is very rare, but it's worth it if you get one. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in 7 mooncats here instead of the 8 that we used to do, because we're going to throw in a triceratops, because this guy will speed up the growth of our plant and then also help us get a huge plant combined with the mooncats. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and place our sprinklers down next. So we do have this new Grandmaster sprinkler, and this should give us some pretty fast growth and some good mutations and all sorts of good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this OP Grandmaster sprinkler down. It covers almost the entire garden. We're gonna put a master sprinkler underneath that. Then we're gonna put our godly sprinkler in there, advanced sprinkler, and then our basic sprinkler. And within all that, we're gonna put our grand tomato plant down. So our grand tomato plant is now growing. We have some mooncats on it, and then our triceratops should target it and make it grow a lot faster, and we should hopefully get a pretty big grand tomatoes. I'm gonna water it just a little bit more just to keep it sprouting up a little bit faster. There we go. It's at 10% now, 11. I'm gonna quickly trowel this over here in between these mooncats. Wow, this thing is going to be big. That only went up another 10%. This is crazy. Oh, okay, that Triceratops just hit it, and now it's actually at 96%. So whenever this next one hits it, we might get our first sets of tomatoes to actually grow in. All right, it's fully grown now. So now our grand tomato plant is done, and it's fully grown in. Now we just gotta wait for the fruits. Now our next Triceratops right here is about to smack it, so we'll see if it gets us some pretty big fruits. Oh my... Okay. Those are pretty big tomatoes. All right, our grand tomatoes are now fully grown in, and it looks like our gold one here is going to be the biggest one from what I can tell. That one has 7.5 studs going across the top, and then this one only has, like we said, 7, and then this one's only about 6. So yeah, I think we have our winner here, which is this gold one. So I'm gonna go ahead and favorite that. We're gonna pick up the other ones that are in here. All right, well, we do have gold on it, but gold does not count towards getting rainbow, and we do need 5 mutations total, but gold is not even considered 1 when we're trying to get rainbow with the butterfly. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're going to apply pollinated to it. I guess we'll apply wet to it because that's like a free one there. Shock, chocolate, and then I also have this extra windstruck spray, which you don't really need because I have pterodactyls, so I'm gonna go ahead and spray that. And there we go, we have 5 mutations that we can use now, and we're going to spawn in a queen bee and a butterfly. So the queen bee's cooldown is about 7 minutes shorter than the butterflies. The queen bee will cool down our butterfly, convert all these mutations to rainbow, and then we can start getting the other mutations. All right, and then over here on my main account, I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in my queen bee and my kitsune. They were spawned in, but I have to reset the timers so then they line up with our grand tomato after it gets rainbow, and that way this will be a little bit closer in sync. So once we get rainbow on it, we can get chakra applied right away. All right, well, we have about 2 minutes left for our queen bee's cooldown to be done to convert our grand tomato here to rainbow, but we just got a nighttime event, so I'm really hoping that these 2 minutes go fast and that we can get this thing to rainbow so then we can get our grand tomato to turn moonlit. That way we don't have to wait around for our tanukis to give us moonlit or for another night event. All right, our queen bee's cooldown is done. Our butterfly is now being cooled down, and we will take 5 of these mutations, well, pretty much all of them at this point, and then we'll turn our grand tomato into rainbow. There we go. Our grand tomato, which is huge by the way, is now rainbow. So we can go ahead and pick up our butterfly, pick up our queen bee. Oh, there we go. Perfect. We got moonlit added to our grand tomato right away. So I'm going to go ahead and favorite this now so I don't accidentally pick it up. Let's go down our sprays. We're going to go ahead and apply shock to this. Pollinated. We're going to go ahead and apply wet as well so we can use our kappas to turn that to bloodlit. We're going to apply chocolate. Then we're also going to apply a honey sprinkler so we can get honey glazed. And our kitsune just stole it from my main account, so that should have applied chakra. So real quick, let's go ahead and check everything that we have here. So we have 8 mutations. I'm going to favorite that again real quick. And then on my main account, I'm going to apply the verdant spray mutation and cloud touched. So I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in first 2 disco bees so we can try to get disco applied to it. We're gonna spawn in 1 pterodactyl so we can go ahead and get windstruck and hopefully twisted so we get tempestuous. Go ahead and spawn in for now just 1 kappa to try to get this to turn bloodlit. We'll spawn in 1 cooked owl for cooked or burnt. We'll spawn in 1 chicken zombie for now for the zombified mutation. We'll also go ahead and spawn in our corrupted kitsune. so we can get corrupted chakra, turn that into harmonized chakra. And then I guess finally we'll spawn in one of our scarlets for now. We do have verdant, but we do have a tranquil scarlet and a corrupted scarlet, so we need to try to get tranquil and corrupted. So I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in our tranquil scarlet here. Now we're up to 8 pets, so we have lots of mutations that we can look forward to getting, and now we just gotta wait around for them to do their things and for events to happen, and then we can start stacking up mutations on our grand tomato. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use some of my toys here to boost some of our pets' cooldowns and also give us higher chances to get some of these mutations. So we're gonna go ahead and boost the corrupted kitsune to hopefully get corrupted foxfire chakra. Let's see. Okay, we only got 1 corrupt chakra. I don't even think he applied it to our big one. Yeah, no, all right, so we're still gonna have to wait for that, but that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and use this on our pterodactyl to try to get twisted done. Okay, we only got Windstruck. We did not get Tempestuous. We did not get Twisted mixed with Windstruck. Eventually, I can use our Pterodactyl again and try to get our Pterodactyl to apply Tempestuous to like a carrot or something, and then use a T-Rex to eat it, and then spread it to our Grand Tomato here. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up our Pterodactyl. For now, I am gonna use a Raiju here to get static applied to our Grand Tomato. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do for that is I'm gonna go ahead and put a carrot down right here. We're going to apply Shocked to it. And then we're going to spawn in our Raiju. So he will eat this shocked carrot and then apply static to our Grand Tomato here. Oh, and I almost forgot, but to save some time here, since we did get Corrupt Chakra on one of our Grand Tomatoes, I am going to go ahead and pick up our Corrupt Kitsune here, and we're going to replace him with a Spinosaurus, so we can work on getting that Corrupt Chakra moved over. And that way, if any of our other pets get mutations applied to these smaller Grand Tomatoes, they should be able to just move it right over. All right, our Raiju is running over to eat the Shocked off this carrot, and then he's going to convert that to static and apply it to our Grand Tomatoes. There we go. The big one is instantly converted to static. That's good. So we don't have to use a Spinosaurus to move that over. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this Raiju. And now we're going to introduce the new pet, which is the Spaghetti Sloth. And again, the Spaghetti Sloth every 14 minutes will go to a nearby fruit and does a cooking. And it will apply pasta, sauce, or meatball mutation. So we could probably get all 3 of these and actually get them all to our Grand Tomato, as they'll probably apply it to the smaller Grand Tomatoes. So we should be able to get 3 extra mutations on our Grand Tomato. All right, so let's go ahead and also use these medium toys here to see if our disco bees will apply disco. Okay, we got 1 to apply disco. Since this big guy here is favorited, I'm going to pick up these 2 disco bees, and I'm going to spawn in another Spinosaurus, so that way they can move those over. And that looks good for now. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for these guys to apply their mutations. I'm going to go AFK for a little bit while they do their work, and once we come back, we'll see what has happened. All right, so I just got back, and it looks like our Spinosauruses moved that corrupted chakra over, so now we have harmonized chakra, but that looks like that's the only thing that happened when we were gone. Now, we do have some other Grand Tomatoes that have grown in here. One is static. I can't really tell what these ones are. I know this one has disco on it, and this one seems to have tranquil on it. Oh, okay, so Kappa just used its conversion to make one of these Grand Tomatoes bloodlit, and we do have Tranquil on this Grand Tomato, so we can get those moved over. So, and we also did just get zombified on one of these Grand Tomatoes as well, so we can go ahead and get rid of our chicken zombies here, and we can go ahead and get rid of our Tranquil Scarlet and our Kappa, and then what we're going to go ahead and do after that is we're going to go ahead and spawn in our Corrupted Scarlet so we can get the Corrupt mutation done. All right, so I went ahead and used my main account to grow all of my Grand Tomatoes here, just so I could see what mutations we have. So yeah, we have quite a few on these Grand Tomatoes that we need to move over. This one doesn't have anything that we need, so I guess I can get rid of this static Grand Tomato up here. But these other 2, we have quite a few here. This one, we actually need everything on it to be moved over to our big Grand Tomato. We have Bloodlet, Disco, Meatball, and Pasta. We do need to get Sauce. That's the last one. And then we also have Zombified on this one. And then this one, we have Tranquil on it, which is pretty much the only one we need from that one. But in the meantime, we also need to wait for these polar bears to give us Chilled, so we can get that moved over to our big Grand Tomato, get that frozen. All right, we did just get Chilled though applied to Grand Tomato. So yeah, now literally everything on this Grand Tomato here needs to just get moved over to our big one. All right, let's see what our Spinosaurus eats and moves over. Okay, we got Chilled and static. We didn't really need static again, but that's fine because now our big grand tomato here is frozen. And when our next Spinosaurus eats, we should be able to get Tranquil done and then one of these good mutations off of this. All right, so I just got back and it looks like we did get Corrupt from our Scarlet. So that is awesome because usually that takes forever. So Corrupt is done. We're going to go ahead and pick up our Corrupted Scarlet then. And then we also looks like we got Burnt on our Grand Tomato here. So we still need to wait for this Corrupt, this Bloodlet, Burnt, and Pasta to move over to our big Grand Tomato. But we did get Zombified moved over and we did get Meatball moved over. And then I guess the last thing we'll need to do is just make sure we can get Tempestuous done. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do now to try and get Tempestuous going is I'm going to plant the rest of these carrot seeds I have, and I'm going to spawn in some pterodactyls again and try to get Tempestuous on one of these carrots or on one of these grand tomatoes. So once we have Tempestuous, we can have our Spinosauruses move that over to our big grand tomato, and then we should pretty much be done with all the pet mutations. All right, let's see what our Spinosaurus converts over. Okay, we got Bloodlet, we already had Windstruck, and we already had Meatball, but we did get Bloodlet moved over to our big Grand Tomato. So now we just have to get Corrupt moved over, and then we have to get Burnt and Pasta moved over. But we're making some good progress. Our Pterodactyls will hopefully give us Tempestuous, so we can get that done and out of the way. We also have our Sloth here, who's hopefully going to apply sauce. Can we get that sauce done, please? So I don't know what happened in this area of the video, but I guess some of my footage did not get recorded, and my microphone was also muted. But pretty much what happened is my Spinosauruses did move over Burnt and Corrupt to the Grand Tomato, and then we also got Tempestuous from our Pterodactyl on this carrot. So I was trying to explain that we're going to wait for my Spinosaurus to move that over to the Grand Tomato. All right, so I just got back from being AFK, and we did get our Tempestuous moved over, but it looks like we still have not gotten sauce. Oh, we do have sauce on this Grand Tomato up here. So once this one is moved over, then we'll have all the pet mutations done. So I guess in the meantime, since we have everything else moved over, I'm going to grab these two Grand Tomatoes here. And then we'll leave the sauce one and we'll get that moved over to our big Grand Tomato. Editing Bandites here again. Sorry to butt in. But for some reason, I guess besides my recording not working fully, my brain was also not working because I already had sauce applied to my Grand Tomato. As you can see, I have the spaghetti mutation already done, which is sauce, pasta, and meatballs. So I don't know why I didn't realize that. And I don't know why I sat here waiting for sauce to get moved over. I don't know what was going on in my head. And there we go. We now have sauce on our Grand Tomato, which is all of our pet mutations done. So yeah, it looks like if you get all three of the spaghetti sloth mutations, it just converts to spaghetti, which is pretty cool. But in total, we have 19 mutations. But if we separate some of these, like Tempestuous, we'd have 20. Spaghetti would have about 23. Frozen would put us at 24. Harmonized Chakra would put us at 25. And that would be 25 total mutations on a Grand Tomato. Since we've been at this for a couple hours, I think it's been about 3 or 4 hours since I started this, we are just going to go ahead and pick up our Grand Tomato and try and see what we can get for all of these mutations on it. I'm hoping that we can get a good value with Steven today. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up our Grand Tomato here with all these mutations. Look how big this thing is too. This thing is humongous. So I think this should be worth quite a lot of money. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and walk over here to Steven, and we're going to check the value of our Grand Tomato. So what are we looking at today, Steven, with this Grand Tomato, which is technically has like 25 mutations on it? Okay, so this thing is worth 330 billion for this size and all of those mutations. I thought it might be a little bit more, like past the 500 billion mark, but that is still pretty good. I mean, look at this thing. This is humongous. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our sprinklers ready here. So let's go ahead and put a master sprinkler down, godly, advanced, and basic, and we'll go ahead and put our Tranquil bloom down right here, and there we go. We're all set up. All right, so a bunch of people in the comments have been yelling at me to start using a Triceratops with the Mooncat so I can get better growth and stuff for my plants. So fine, dude, I'll do it. Okay, I have a couple of them in my inventory here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up one of our Mooncats. I'll pick up this guy who's all the way over here, not even making an effort. Mr. Samster, you're gone, buddy. All right, and then we're gonna place our Triceratops down, and our Triceratops every 3 minutes run into 3 random plants and advance their growth by 33 minutes. All right, so our Tranquil bloom's only at 6%. Let's see our Triceratops. Let's see how much it advances the growth. Hopefully it just makes us get 100% right away. I think it might. I think it should be that quick. Let's see. Triceratops, go ahead and ram that Tranquil bloom for us. Thank you. Bah! That only got us another 50%, but we wait for him to do it again, then this thing will be done. I mean, that was already half of it. All right, Triceratops is about to smack this again. This should, I think, grow it to full. Let's see. No, it's only at 82%. I think I'm just gonna wait a minute here and let him finish up. So we'll come back in just a second and see what kind of fruits we can get. Okay, so I literally just got back from AFK, and I see something going on here. Oh my gosh, dude. Look how gigantic our Tranquil blooms are. I think we're going to use this one for today and try to get every mutation on this big guy here. So I'm going to go ahead and put our sprays on it. So let's do, it already has Tranquil on it. So we'll go ahead and add pollinated to it, and then we'll add chocolate to it. And shock, that should be 4 mutations. And then we'll do honey glazed, and that should be 5. Go ahead and add that here. That should be 5 mutations. And we're going to go ahead and spawn in our queen bee to get its cooldown recharged. We're going to spawn in our butterfly. And that way we can get this big Tranquil bloom here to rainbow. The queen bee will cool down our butterfly, and the butterfly will take all 5 mutations currently on this big Tranquil bloom and convert that to rainbow. On our main account over here, we are also going to spawn a queen bee to start a cooldown process here with our kitsune, so that way we can get chakra instantly added to our big Tranquil bloom as soon as it's done with getting rainbow. So let's wait for this thing to turn rainbow. I'm going to get these other ones out of the way for now so we can actually see what we're working with, and then that way our kitsune over here will only target the big Tranquil bloom. So I will be right back. All right, in less than a minute, our queen bee will cool down our butterfly and convert all of these mutations to rainbow. And with that, I did clean up the other big Tranquil bloom, so we're down to just this big one here. Oh, and look at that. Perfect timing. We just got frost to spawn in. Okay, queen bee is done. Butterfly is going in. And our big Tranquil bloom is now rainbow. So now we can go ahead and pick up our queen bee and our butterfly, and then we're going to go ahead and favorite this big guy so we don't accidentally pick him up. And with that, we're going to add some sprays onto him. We're going to pollinate it. We're going to put chocolate on it. We're going to put shocked on it. And then we're going to put our honey glaze sprinkler on it. All right. And then over here on our main account, we're going to have our main account apply the cloud touch spray on it. And my main account doesn't have any more amber sprays at the moment, so we're not going to do that for right now. But the kitsune is also coming over here to steal our big Tranquil bloom. He just walked through it. Okay, yeah, he took the big one. There he goes. We now have 7 mutations on our Tranquil bloom, including chakra from the kitsune. I'm going to go ahead and favorite this again. And we're going to go ahead and try and get our kappas here to add wet and then get bloodlet on this before we get this thing to turn frozen. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to spawn in 2 kappas. That's 1. That's 2. And then we're going to spawn in 2 disco bees for now. So I guess we'll do 1 cooked owl for now, and then we'll do 1 chicken zombie as well. We're going to spawn in a pterodactyl to try and get windstruck, but also hopefully get us twisted so we can get tempestuous out of the way. And then finally, let's go ahead for now and spawn in a corrupted kitsune, so this guy can give us the corrupted chakra mutation on this big guy here, and then maybe also give us corrupted foxfire chakra. And we have a sandstorm. Now we just had 1 sandstorm go by, so hopefully this one's a little bit more lucky. I guess what I'll go ahead and do then is travel this over here, because this is the lucky corner. That's literally almost going into my main account's garden, by the way. This is about to touch my main account. All right, but we'll see if this helps to get sandy at all. Wait a second. Is this the spray merchant? No way, the spray merchant's here. All right, I'm going to buy some of these just so I can make sure I have them. I wish the spray merchant sold the amber mutation, but he doesn't. Did we get sandy at all? No, we did not get sandy. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, because we have these kappas that will give us the wet mutation, to save a little bit of time, though, I'm going to go ahead and keep that favorited, but I'm going to spray it with wet, just so that way this thing is already wet. And oh, and it's nighttime. But that way this thing will be wet, and then these kappas can hopefully just convert that to bloodlet a little bit faster. So I'm glad it's nighttime. This actually helps. I can save some time with the tanukis later, so I don't have to wait for them to get this thing moonlit. This should hopefully get us moonlit pretty quickly. Normally we get it pretty fast. I don't have any night staffs though, is the only problem. But I guess we don't need it, because look at that, we just got moonlit. The events tonight are actually going crazy. We're getting everything that we need. Wow, are we getting lucky? All right, so now we have a meteor shower. We'll hopefully be able to get celestial added onto this. We do have our star crawler pretty close to this, so that should affect it. Let me see. So our cooked owl is about to do something. Let's see if we get burnt. Okay, that failed. That's fine. We'll just wait for the next round of that. Our pterodactyl is about to apply. Oh, did that just give us celestial? I think so. It just flickered. Let's see. Yep, we got celestial. Perfect. We're doing good today. We're getting lucky with these events. It's like the first time we're getting this many events. All right. All right, let's see what he does. Okay, he's doing something. Oh, wait. Okay, he applied windstruck and twisted to Tranquil bloom. Let's see if it's the correct one, though. Tempestuous. Let's go, dude. He did it to the right one. All right, so our luck today is actually really good. I think last video our luck was really bad, and now it's just like the game likes us. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this pterodactyl here, and he is good. We don't need that guy anymore. All right, I guess for now, since we have that extra spot, I will spawn in another chicken zombie to hopefully get zombified out of the way. Ah, perfect. Applied. All right, so that's another mutation done. We can go ahead and pick up our disco bees. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do now is actually spawn in my scarlet macaws here to get verdant. We did just buy some verdant sprays on my main account, but I'm going to save them for now because these guys should be able to give us verdant. And we do have a tranquil scarlet and a corrupted scarlet. So we should be able to get verdant, tranquil, and corrupted. If we don't get tranquil or corrupted, we'll at least get one of them in the event within the next 20 minutes should be the next one. Anyways, let's go ahead and do a quick check here. So we are now up to 12 mutations on our Tranquil Bloom. Tempestuous technically is like 2 mutations, so I guess we'd be up to 13. All right, a bunch of our pets are about to finish their cooldowns, including our corrupted kitsune, both of our scarlet birds, and our chicken zombie here is almost done, and our cooked owl. So we might have a lot of mutations get applied, or we might have a lot of fails. I guess we'll wait and see. All right, so I think these guys are first going to do their verdant attempts. Let's see if we get verdant, so we don't have to use that spray. That would be nice. We could save it. Okay, verdant is applied, but I don't know if that was the right one. Burnt failed, and corrupt chakra was just applied, but that was not foxfire corrupt chakra, but we still got that applied. So let me just go ahead and double check here. Okay, yeah, so we got verdant, then we got corrupt chakra and regular chakra, so now we have harmonized chakra. And yeah, verdant actually went pretty quick the other day. It was taking forever, so that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply shocked to this little guy here, and I'm going to let my Raju here spawn in, and then he should target this, eat it, and then eventually apply static to our big tranquil bloom. All right, our cooked owl just applied the burnt mutation to our tranquil bloom here. So we now have burnt added onto there. I'm gonna make sure I keep this favorited though, because I don't want our Raju over here to eat our big tranquil bloom. Raju is about to add static to our big tranquil bloom. It's about to eat it. And last time I thought it ran my pockets, but it actually gives you money. And it actually did give me money. Okay, I didn't know that because last time I was saying that it ran my pockets and then ate my fruit. But no, it actually gives you money and then it just eats one of your fruits. So you guys in the comments are right. I'm sorry that I'm stupid and dumb and stupid. Our Tranquil Bloom here now has static applied to it and burnt from those 2 mutations from our Cooked Owl and from our Rajus. Tranquility. All right. Well, I guess with that, Cappy here becomes completely useless because this is about to mutate this big guy into Tranquil. All right, that should be in. Yep, there we go. Our big guy is now Tranquil. So I can actually go ahead and just get rid of Cappy because we already have Verdant and Tranquil. So now this guy's useless. But our corrupted one here, Molly, maybe, just maybe, will give us corrupted so we don't have to wait another hour for that event to come by. Okay, so a heat wave just spawned in and our tanning mirror just got smacked by a heat wave beam, which means that our Tranquil Bloom is now actually Paradisal, which just upgraded our Verdant, and now we have a better multiplier. All right, our chicken zombies officially applied zombified to our Tranquil Bloom finally. So we have zombified out of the way. So we can go ahead and pick up all of our chicken zombies here. And now it's pretty much just down to these two. Either our Scarlet will give us corrupted or we'll just wait for the event to happen within the next 40 minutes. And our Kappas just need to get us bloodlet. And then besides that, we just really need a Sandstorm and Aurora. But this thing is looking good. It should be pretty expensive. I'm hoping for over $1 trillion today for this thing. We should make some good money, I would think. I mean, look at the size of this, dude. All right, it is the hour mark, which means we now have a corrupted event. It does go back and forth, so now it's corrupted. Earlier it was Tranquil, but I don't know if we got bloodlet at all, so I'm gonna go ahead and unfavorite this and see. And no, but our wet turned into drench, so I don't know if these guys can actually give us bloodlet if it's drenched instead of wet. I mean, drenched is pretty much the same thing as wet. It's just like a little bit of a better version of wet, but I don't know if they will affect that and give us bloodlet anymore. At the same time though, overall, we're still doing pretty good. I mean, this thing has 18 mutations on it. And again, if you separate some of these, like Tempestuous would be up to 19, Paradisal would be up to 20, and then Harmonized Chakra would be up to 21. So yeah, we have quite a lot of mutations on this thing. I do really want to get bloodlet, but I don't know if we can anymore because we don't have wet. We only have drenched. All right, well, we've been at this for a few hours, and these kappas have been placed as the first pet today, and have been sitting here for hours, and we still don't have bloodlet, not even on these fruits over here that are wet. So I think at this rate, because we've been waiting and there's still no bloodlet, and I don't even know if they can get drenched to bloodlet, we're gonna go ahead and apply the chilled mutation to this for my main account. So now this thing can be frozen instead of drenched, and now we are up to 18 mutations still, but if you separate everything, it would be up to 22 total mutations. So pretty much all we'd really need at this rate, besides bloodlet, we didn't get that. We would just need Aurora, and then we'd need Sandy, so we could turn Sandy into ceramic. And then we'd pretty much have all of the legit mutations. Now, the one that we also are technically missing is Amber, but we have a shot at trying to get Amber whenever we pick this thing up, because we have our raptors here. So we are going to pick this thing up and check the value with Steven, and hopefully our raptors actually help us out and possibly give us Amber. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this big Tranquil bloom, and we're gonna check the value with Steven. All right, let's check it. And it's really hard to tell if it has amber. It doesn't look like the outer ice is the amber color, and I think it probably would have notified us if it was amber. I mean, this thing is huge, dude. I think we're not gonna have any issues with pricing for today. I think this thing is going to definitely be worth. Let's go ahead and without further ado, check the value with Steven and see how much our Tranquil bloom is worth. So Steven, what are we looking at? I'm hyped for this one. Only 163 billion, actually, for this giant Tranquil bloom with all of these mutations on it. I feel like this one should have been worth a lot more from how big the sizing was on it. I feel like the price for this thing is a little nerfed, and it probably needs a little bit of a buff for it being in the top 3 values of fruits in this game. But I think they are trying to crack down and nerf some of the values of fruits on this game, because some of them are very expensive and they grow huge. Because of that, you can see like my main account, I've had some really big fruits and I'm over 1 quadrillion on it. All right, so before Brighter runs all the events, we actually have to get a pretty big pepper seed. So first off, what I'm gonna do is actually place these sprinklers down. So we have a bunch of spice sprinklers. Then I'm gonna do master sprinklers next to all of these. Then I'm gonna also run up some basic sprinklers. And then we're gonna go ahead and grow our dragon pepper seeds. I'm gonna put one next to all of the sprinklers. And we're gonna see what we get from this, if it actually makes a pretty big pepper. What we're looking for is the biggest dragon pepper that we can possibly get out of all of these, so we'll see what we get. We have some watering cans, so to speed this up, we're gonna go ahead and water these. And it looks like we're gathering a little bit of an audience. Hello, welcome to the show. All right, there we go. The dragon peppers are sprouting, and they're actually sprouting really quick. All right, so these are actually pretty big ones. I don't know which one looks to be the biggest so far. Let me see. Maybe this one. Oh, no, this one right here. Definitely this one. So this one's pretty big. It's not as big as I was hoping we would get, but it's decent enough that I'm going to go ahead and keep this. So we have our dragon pepper here. Now, Brighter is going to go crazy and pretty much run every single possible event that he can. All right, he said event time. Let's do it. Bet. All right, here we go, boys. We're about to get every event possible from Brighter. Thank you so much, Brighter, for doing this. All right, here we go. We got the black hole event to hopefully get void touched on this thing, and in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and remove these other dragon peppers. All right, we got the black hole going. Let's see if any of these get void touched. I'm hoping that this big one does. We gotta get void touched on the big guy. Oh, it looks like we're getting some more events. We got bloodlet on here. Okay, he's just gonna go crazy and do all of them. All right, we didn't get any void touch, surprisingly. Oh, but we are getting a meteor strike. Okay, this is the new one. This is the admin only exclusive meteor strike. Oh, one just landed really close, but it didn't hit our dragon pepper head on. Come on. Come on, dude. We're getting, like, horrible luck right now. All of these things are just missing completely. Come on. Let's get some meteors over here. All right, we got a tornado coming in for the possible twisted mutation. This thing's gonna have to come over here, though. Tornado, yo. Come on. Come over here. Come over here. Come on. Yeah. Closer. Closer. Come on. Just a little closer. Come on. Come on, buddy. Good, tornado. Come on. Come on in. Don't be shy. Come on over here. I have to move this over here real quick. Wait. Come on. Yo. Get over here. All right, I'm about to trowel this right into it. Go. Did I just miss that? Oh my, bro. How did I not get any of these? All right, so I said my luck is so bad, might need to run those again, and Brighter said bet. So we're about to get round 2 of all these. In the meantime, I'm gonna use these mutation sprays on this one, and we're gonna get chocolate on it. Or actually, that's pollinated, and then we're gonna get chocolate on it, so that way we can start racking up some of these mutations. We'll have to get the shocked mutation spray as well, but we'll do that in a minute. Volcanic eruption. Oh my, bro. Okay, so this is the new volcano event that you can get. We're gonna hope that one of these giant magma blocks hits our dragon pepper. So far, it's pollinated, it's chocolate, it's bloodlit, but none of the other things have hit, so we're just gonna have to wait. Oh, that one's about to touch. Yo, that one was so close. Did it touch? No, it didn't, and I accidentally just collected the one we just did all that to, the big one. All right, well. All right, we got chalk, bloodlit, void touched. All right, there we go. Now we got pollinated on it. All right, so now we got to get one of these to hit so we can get celestial on it. And then we're gonna have him run back the other events he just did because our luck right now is completely terrible. I'm gonna travel this guy over here to the corner so he has a better chance to actually get hit by some of this stuff whenever we redo these events. It's like a trial it in between these 2 star crawlers, so both of them should be able to hit. That way it's in the corners, so we should get the other events to actually hit this. And in the meantime, while we do that, we actually have some pets here. So I'm gonna run up some disco bees to get this thing disco mutated. We also have some chicken zombies, so we're gonna try to use these to get the zombified mutation on this thing. All right, so he gave me some pretty OP pets. Jandel is here to laser the map. All right, he's lasering the map. Is he gonna come this way? He'll come this way. Buddy, look, man. Why do all these events only want to target the middle of the map? Hey, yo, Jandel, I need you to wake up and listen, man. Look, I'm over there. Do you not see that right there? Is it not possible for you to just hit that one right there? Please. I need your mutations. While he's doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and buy a shocked mutated spray. That way I can go ahead and get this guy shocked so we don't have to wait for that. All right, there we go. We got pollinated, we got shocked. All right, we need this twister to head this way and all of these events to actually head over here now. All right, so I was literally AFK for a second because there was a roach attacking us. We got celestial and twisted on this one dragon pepper. I wanted it on this one, but this works too. All right, so we'll start working on this one then. We'll add some pollination onto that. We'll add some chocolate onto this. This should help with some disco. Oh wait, one of them just got disco. Wait, this one got disco. Okay, so we can just get twisted to hit this one. It'll actually be better. All right, we have 2 very good ones right now, but one has twisted and one has void touch. So they're like split. It's split between them both for me right now. All right, hopefully these chicken zombies actually do what they're supposed to. What are the chances for this? So 22% chance. We have 3 of them. So that's like a 60% chance that one of these is going to get zombified in a second. Okay, one chicken zombie just went off, but he failed. This one failed. Come on, we got one more. We got one more. Come on. Come on, please. And failed. Okay. We're going to try to get gold on it instead in the meantime. So I'm going to go ahead and spawn in these dragonflies. Now, I also forgot we do have to get honey glazed on this. So I'm going to go ahead and also sprinkle these honey sprinklers down. And hopefully this will help. Oh, wait. That was actually quick. We already got honey glaze. It only took like 1 sprinkler. All right, there we go. Our dragonfly finally put gold on this one. So now we are up to 10 mutations. We still got to get this wet to become frozen. And then we still need pretty much the rest of the admin events. But we're getting there. We made a lot of progress so far. Bro, no way this guy actually just stole this. All right, well... yeah, this dude just stole it, so that's awesome. So glad that he did that. So I'm gonna have to get disco on this one now and void touched. All right, we got another Jandel event happening, and this is actually making some good progress. So this one actually just got moonlit on it, and it does have twisted, which is harder to get, I think, than the void touch. We'll just wait for these events to keep spamming in, but we gotta get Jandel to hit this with plasma. All right, yo, we got plasma on the dragon pepper from that. All right, hopefully we can get volcanic though. We need volcanic. Okay, that literally just like slammed on top of this thing, but I don't think that gave it volcanic, did it? Oh, yes, it did. We got molten. We got molten. That's another 2 down. All right, perfect. Bro said 37 Robux and literally looked at my dragon pepper. Bro, Please have a heart. It was already stolen. I'll be so sad. All right, we're finally at peace in our own server, dude. I was starting to stress out after that guy stole. But anyways, this thing has now got wet on it. And once these polar bears do some more work, I mean, they only have like a minute cooldown. We should hopefully get frozen on this one. They're trying to apply it. Oh, let's go. He got chilled on this one. So now it is frozen officially. That is another one to check off the box. I'm going to pick up all of these polar bears, and I guess we'll go ahead and do the cooked owls for now. And then we'll try to get the disco bees back in. But I think we have some disco events queued. So cooked owls we'll prioritize for now. These guys take 15 minutes, and then hopefully we'll get some cooked. Now, these are only an 18.4% chance every 15 minutes. I mean, it can still get burnt, so we'll see what happens. All right, Brighter's back in. He's going to try and spam some more of the weather events for me to get the remaining admin mutations on this dragon pepper. My zombie chickens just failed at mutating, and also my disco bees just failed as well. They were close. All right, I'm just going to keep picking up these other dragon peppers just so I have a better chance to actually get my mutations on this. Because I've been at this for like nearly 3 hours and it's like 6 in the morning almost, and I should probably go to bed. Brighter's going to just hook me up. He's going to mutate this plant and just give me all the mutations on it at this point, since that's what I've been working for. Because, bro, the RNG I'm getting right now is actually insane, and I can't actually get anything good. Brighter is going to help me. He's going to just mutate this thing for me, and we're going to check the value, all right? We're going to get all the mutations on it. So, here we go. As the void touch is going, I'm going to pick this up in 3, 2, 1. All right, we have it. All right, so he's gonna work his magic. He's gonna bless this thing. Let me, where'd it go? Where'd it go? This is it, but for some reason it just like broke, and now it's really tiny, probably because it has all the mutations on it, but this is the one. All right, so now he just worked some magic, and this one has literally every single mutation in the game. As you can see pollinated, celestial, moonlit, heavenly, bloodlit, plasma, honey glaze, frozen, gold. There's pretty much no more commas because it can't display the rest of the mutations on this. So this is my pepper with every single mutation. Thank you, Brighter, for helping me. I know this was like a lot of work to do. And let's see how much this dragon pepper with every single mutation in the game is now worth. So this one plant is worth 1.7 billion, but if we sell this single plant, it is 1.7 billion, and there we go. I thought it would honestly be a little bit more than that. That is still a lot of money. I mean, we got every mutation on that thing, so thanks, Brighter, for the help. All right, first things first is we're gonna spawn in 7 of our moon cats here. All right, and then next up, we're gonna spawn in one of our triceratopses. This guy is an age 9 compared to my other 2 that are age 8, so he's a little bit ahead of the other 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and spawn him in, and then we're gonna go ahead and place our sprinklers here. So I'm gonna go ahead and place our Grandmaster Sprinkler, a Master Sprinkler, Godly, Advanced, and Basic, and then I'm gonna go ahead and slap down a Sugar Glaze Seed right in that mix. And this should help it get pretty big, plus all of our Mooncats. Now, what we can also do is drag this thing over into a bunch of Mooncats to hopefully get the original Sugar Glaze to be pretty big. So let me see, can I move this? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there. And we're just gonna let these Mooncats mix in their abilities onto it. All right, that looks pretty good. And then I guess, you know what, since this is growing pretty quick, I can use some more watering cans on it. And then once our Triceratops here is done with this cooldown, it can just go ahead and smack this Sugar Glaze, and we can get the first set of donuts done and see how big they turn out. Let's try to travel this right in between these guys. We need to get as big of a Sugar Glaze as we possibly can. Look, the cat's actually sleeping in the tree. What? All right, I'll put it in this one just to get more bonus points possibly from our Mooncats, and then we're gonna put it right back in our sprinklers here. All right, then finally a couple more watering cans, and this thing should be done growing. I wish I could drag the Mooncats over here. I know a lot of people were telling me to get the pancake so I can have them all focus on a section. I actually did not get the pancake unlocked. I just had the pancake mole. But yeah, that'll be one of the things I focus on unlocking next, so we can always have our Mooncats target one area for our plants. All right, our Triceratops is, oh my, all right, well, it looks like we got a pretty big donut growing in. It looks like everyone's doing their job. Let's see what the Triceratops does to help. All right, kaboom. That was it? That was 33 minutes of growth? All right, so our Sugar Glaze is done growing. Why is it green? I thought it was going to be like a chocolate one, but I guess we got someone's like boogers All right, well, we're good here with our Triceratopses, so we're going to go ahead and use some sprays here so we can get 5 mutations applied to our sugar glaze and then get a butterfly to turn that into rainbow for us. So we're going to go ahead and use one of these honey glaze sprays. We're going to use a pollinated, a chocolate, a shocked, and then we're just going to use a wet just to get another one out of the way. And there we go. We have 5 mutations on our sugar glaze here. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and trowel this so it's facing this way. This is the one time a chocolate spray makes something look a little bit better, a little bit more appetizing. All right, but anyways, I'm going to favorite this real quick just so I don't accidentally pick that up. And then we're going to go ahead and spawn in 1 queen bee here and a butterfly. So that way our queen bee will cool down our butterfly and convert this thing to rainbow. I'll take all those 5 mutations and convert it to rainbow. And then over here, my main account, I'm going to spawn in a queen bee as well. And then we're going to spawn in my kitsune. So that way, by the time this butterfly over here converts this to rainbow, then our kitsune over here will be ready, and then we can apply chakra or foxfire chakra to our sugar glaze. But for now, I do need to unfavorite this so the butterfly can actually convert these mutations, and we gotta wait about like 17 more minutes. Yeah, so I'll be right back. All right, so our queen bee's about done with her cooldown, and she's about to cool down our butterfly, and hopefully our butterfly can take these and apply rainbow quick, because for some reason my queen bee's timer on my main account bugged, and it is now lined up with this account. So it's about to cool down our kitsune over here as soon as this happens. So queen bee, cool down butterfly. Butterfly is now cooled down. Let's get rainbow quick before the kitsune comes. Come on, hurry up. Hurry up. All right, we're good. We got it just in time. Our sugar glaze is now rainbow. The kitsune is stealing it. And now we have rainbow and chakra done. All right, I'm going to get out of his way. It's very bright and in my eyes. I can't see anything. All right, so since this is good, we're going to go ahead and favorite this just so we don't touch it. And we're going to go and pick up our queen bee and our butterfly. And then let's go ahead and apply some sprays to this thing. So we're going to reapply that shocked onto there. We're going to apply pollinated. We're going to apply fried, honey glazed, burnt, and chocolate. And then over here on my main account, we're going to apply cloud touch, we're going to apply verdant, and we're also going to apply wet, so that way our kappas have an easier time to apply bloodlet to our big sugar glaze here. All right, so that brings us up to 11 mutations on our sugar glaze, so it's looking pretty good here. So first thing I think I'm going to go ahead and do is plant a carrot seed, and we're going to put the shocked spray on our carrot seed here. All right, there we go. Our carrot is now shocked, so then I can go ahead and spawn in our Raiju, which will give us a mutation done right off the bat. It will eat this shocked carrot and apply static to our sugar glaze right away, so we can get that mutation done and out of the way. All right, I'm going to go ahead and spawn in 2 disco bees as well, so we can work on getting the disco mutation added. We're going to spawn in our Tranquil Scarlet and our Corrupted Scarlet. Even though we already have Verdant done, since they have Tranquil and Corrupt, we can get Tranquil and Corrupt mutations on our big sugar glaze here. All right, so that brings us to 5 pets here. Looks pretty good so far. I am going to go ahead and spawn in my chicken zombies next, just so we can get zombified done and out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and spawn in a kappa here, so our kappa can attempt to get the sugar glaze bloodlet. And that's good. We have all of our pets ready to go, and now we just have to wait for all of their cooldowns to go by. Okay, our Raiju just charged that carrot and ate it so fast I wasn't even ready for a second there, but he did apply the static mutation onto our sugar glaze here, so that is another mutation done and out of the way. All right, so what I think I'm going to go ahead and do next is I'm going to go ahead and spawn in this corrupted kitsune so we can start working on getting a corrupt chakra or corrupt foxfire chakra and add that on to our sugar glaze. All right, and then we're also going to wait around here because our disco bees are about done with their cooldowns, and hopefully we'll get disco applied right away. Usually they're pretty good about getting us disco. Let's see it. All right, one's going off. All right, easy. That first disco bee there instantly gave us the disco mutation. So we're getting some good mutations done. All right, so since that is good and out of the way, let's see. I think I'm going to spawn in another kappa to assist getting this thing to turn bloodlet. And then I guess, let me see what else I have in here. We don't really need our cooked owls today because we did get burnt on it already and fried. All right, I guess really the only other pet we need at the moment will be the pterodactyls. So I'm going to spawn one in here, and then I think what I'll do is whenever our pterodactyl here is about to be done with his cooldown, we're just going to grow a bunch of carrots back here like last second, so that way he can try to apply tempestuous to one of these. So in case he doesn't get tempestuous on the first try on our sugar glaze, all hope won't be lost. We can get it on a carrot and then just use a Spinosaurus to move it over. All right, let's go. One of our chicken zombies just applied the zombified mutation onto our sugar glaze. So that's another mutation done. We move these chicken zombies out of the way. They've done their job. All right. So next up is our pterodactyl. His cooldown is about done. So I'm going to quickly place a couple of these carrot seeds down just to see if we can stack up and maybe get tempestuous on one of these. All right, so let's see if our pterodactyl gives us tempestuous. It'd be nice if he could just give it to us directly on the sugar glaze, but if not, we'll use a Spinosaurus to move over mutations later onto this. All right, let's see it. He went all carrot mode. He didn't even go for the sugar glaze, but one of them did get tempestuous right here. So let me go ahead and favorite this real quick, and then I'm going to pick up the rest of these. All right, there we go. So tempestuous is on this carrot, which means our pterodactyl did do his job. So I'm going to go ahead and pick him up. He is good to go. And I guess we'll go ahead and unfavorite the carrot, and then we're going to put down a Spinosaurus. So this guy will be able to eat the carrot and then move it over to our sugar glaze. Okay, so I knew something felt like it was missing, like I didn't do one of our pets that we normally do by now. And you know what? There is something missing, which is our spaghetti sloth. We got to get this guy to spawn in so it can give us sauce, pasta, and meatballs so we can get the spaghetti mutation added onto our sugar glaze. I don't know how good a spaghetti sugar glaze donut would taste, but our spaghetti sloth sure thinks it would be good. All right, so we have quite a bit of stuff about to happen. So first off, our Spinosaurus here is going to eat from our carrot, and hopefully it'll just move tempestuous over right away. Let's see. Let's see which mutation it eats. Okay, well, it ate wet, which we didn't need, so good thing we have our other Spinosaurus as backup for right now. So we're just gonna wait for that to happen. And then also, hopefully, our corrupt scarlet here will apply the corrupt mutation to our sugar glaze. But it is nighttime now, so we should be able to get moonlit, and hopefully after we'll get a celestial event so we can get celestial added to our sugar glaze. But anyways, there we go. That Spinosaurus has officially added tempestuous over to our sugar glaze, so we can go ahead and pick up our Spinosauruses for now, since we don't really need them to move anything else over. I'm gonna pick up that carrot, and then we just gotta wait for these guys to apply their mutations to our sugar glaze here. So let's see, hopefully the corrupt scarlet does corrupt. Come on, please, get it done. It failed. Okay, well, we're not gonna get that one done yet, I guess, but we are gonna get moonlit done. So there we go. We now have moonlit added to our sugar glaze here and tempestuous. So that's another 2 mutations done and out of the way. All right, corrupted kitsune, please give us your mutation, please. There we go. Corrupted kitsune applied corrupt chakra to sugar glaze. So he is done and out of the way. And now we have harmonized chakra added onto this thing. All right, our spaghetti sloth is doing something. Let's see what mutation he adds to our sugar glaze first. He's pretty much a guaranteed pet to give us mutations. So let's see what the first one we get is. All right, we have sauce added to our sugar glaze now. So that is good to see. And once he applies his other 2, we'll have the full spaghetti mutation done. All right, our spaghetti sloth is heading over to hopefully apply the next mutation that we need. Hopefully it's not the same one. All right, there we go. So we got meatball added to sugar glaze. So now we have sauce and meatball on our sugar glaze here. As you can see, here's sauce, here's meatball. So once he adds pasta, those will all turn into spaghetti. Oh, wow. For the first time, I think, in one of these videos, we're actually getting an Aurora event. I mean, I guess we used to get events like this all the time, and I think we had the Aurora before when Brighter would do all the admin events. And it's ending. Well, no Aurora mutation. I guess I'll trowel this back. Okay, well, I literally just got back from being AFK, and I just came back to the spaghetti sloth applying pasta to our sugar glaze here. So let's go ahead and take a look if anything else happened. All right, so yeah, now we have spaghetti because we had all 3 of the spaghetti sloth mutations applied. It still looks like we did not get corrupt while I was AFK, so we still have to wait for corrupt to be applied, and we still have to wait for bloodlet to get applied. But our spaghetti sloth is at least done. All right, so finally we got another mutation done. Our Scarlet finally applied the corrupt mutation onto our sugar glaze. We can go ahead and pick him up. And now we have corrupt added onto here and Tranquil. So we have those 2 done. It's pretty much only up to our Kappas now to try and get bloodlet. I always spawn these guys in first, and then they literally struggle the entire time to convert wet to bloodlet. But hopefully they do that, and then once they get this thing bloodlet, or hopefully get it bloodlet, we'll then apply wet again, and then convert wet over to frozen. All right, well, big rip. We've been waiting for our Kappas to give us bloodlet for like 2 or 3 hours now, and they haven't. And then we got a frost event, so this thing is frozen, and we can't get bloodlet now. All right, well, we didn't get bloodlet today, but we did get frozen. I wanted to get frozen and bloodlet though, but you know, sometimes you can never win at these things. And then yeah, it's also been hours and we haven't had any other events happen. We have our raptor spawned in, so we're gonna try to pick up our sugar glaze and get amber applied. But in total, we do have 19 mutations, and if you spread some of these out like tempestuous, we would have 20. Spaghetti, we would have 22. And harmonized chocolate would bring us to 24 mutations. So if we get amber, that'll be 25. Without further ado, let's go ahead and pick this thing up. Oh, look at that. We actually did get amber. So yeah, this thing technically has 20 mutations on it, or 25. It, for some reason, shrunk in size when I picked it up. Sometimes the big plants do that. The donut, maybe just for holding purposes, it did that. But hopefully it didn't actually break the size of it, and then it's going to break the value. I don't know, but we'll give it a shot. So thanks to our raptors for helping us out. All right, well, without further ado, I'm going to check the value of this thing with Steven. Hopefully it's still good. I don't know if the size actually went down or if it's just a visual bug like it used to be, but we're going to go ahead and check with Steven and see how much our sugar glazed donut is worth. So Steven, what would you give me for this thing today? Okay, yeah, I think the size stayed the same because this is worth 209 billion, which is actually really good for missing some of the mutations like paradisal and also ceramic. If we did get all of the admin mutations on this thing, I think it would have been close to 1 trillion or even passing 1 trillion, and we could have even gotten it bigger. But yeah, this is actually a pretty good price for the sugar glazed donut, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on this. Let's go ahead and get our sprinklers ready, just like we always do. We got the master sprinkler, the advanced, basic, and godly, and then we're gonna go ahead and place this down inside of all those. We're gonna spawn in our moon cat so we can hopefully get a pretty big ember lily. And there we go. So our ember lily's only at 0%. Oh, it's at 1% now. It's speeding up. So I am gonna use some watering cans for this to try and help and get this thing growing fast. Let me know in the comments down below what you think the value of this thing will be once we get every single mutation on it. And then if you want, you could edit your comment at the end of the video and see if you are close. All right, our ember lily is growing. It's actually growing a lot faster than I thought it would, so that's good for us. The other thing is too, we have windy going on right now, which would be perfect if this thing was already grown and already had rainbow on it. All right, there we go. Our ember lily is grown. Now, the plant itself is looking pretty small, but we could still get a pretty big flower at the top, and I hope we do. I really hope we do. All right, so we're just going to give it a little bit to grow, and we'll see what kind of ember lily we get. We'll see what the size of it is. We have all these moon cats, and a bunch of them just napped right next to it, plus all the sprinklers. I think we're going to have a good-sized ember lily, and it's growing. I think that's a pretty good size. We'll see if it expands anymore. Oh, it's growing upwards. Okay, so that might be our size then. That might be it. Actually, you know what? This one doesn't look that big. I am going to go ahead and delete it, and then let's see if we can get a bigger one. I really want this to be a big ember lily. All right, so I'm going to see if this one grows into be a decent size. It might be still pretty small, but it does look like this one's gold again. I wish gold would actually matter for this. I wish it would count as one of the 5 mutations that we need to get rainbow, but since it doesn't, we do have all of our sprays in line, and we will be using those in just a second. This might be as big as it's going to get because our mooncats be struggling today. All right, this thing has progressed pretty nicely. It looks a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, so I think we got a pretty good-sized ember lily. Now, to save some time, I'm bringing out the big guns, and we're going to be hitting the grow all button. Sometimes we got to use bow bucks to get some good end results, and if you want to help support these videos so I can spend more bow bucks, you can always check out the Bandites merch. You could buy it in my Roblox group. The links are in the description, and you can look as handsome as I do. All right, but I'm bringing the main account me over here to grow all so we can get that ember lily looking nice, okay? And there we go. Our ember lily is grown. We saved a little bit of time. This is still not as big as I was hoping it would be, but it's a pretty decent size overall. Now we're gonna go ahead and pick up our moon cats. I really wish this ember lily was bigger than this, but I guess this is the size we're gonna go with. I think this is decent, but all right, we're gonna go ahead and use all of our spray mutations here. So let's do a chocolate spray on this thing. We're gonna save the cloud touch. We'll do pollinated We'll do shocked, and we'll save the amber one. So we'll do 1 chilled, and that is 5 mutations, but gold does not count towards getting rainbow. So instead, we're going to use a honey sprinkler to get this honey glazed. And there we go. Now we have the 5 mutations that'll actually count. So we go ahead and spawn in our queen bee and a butterfly. Now, some people were asking me in the comments if the queen bee only cools down the butterfly, and no, the queen bee just cools down whatever pet has the longest cooldown currently. So since we only spawn in these 2, the longest cooldown is always going to be the butterfly, so it saves us about 7 or 8 minutes in the end, so we can get this thing rainbow a little bit faster. And again, the butterfly does need 5 mutations, and gold does not count. So these are the 5 we have: shock, chocolate, honey glaze, pollinated, chilled, and that will convert those into rainbow. But anyways, now we gotta wait for these guys to do their thing, get this thing rainbow, so we can't really do much until then. So I'll see you guys in literally like 2 seconds when this is about to be rainbow. All right, it's time for the stuff to happen. The queen bee is going to cool down our butterfly, and our butterfly is now going to get this thing rainbow, and we say bye-bye to the gold mutation that we have. And just like that, our Ember Lily loses all these, but we get rainbow. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick these guys up now, and then we're gonna go ahead and reapply all of our spray mutations. So we got pollinated, we got shocked. We also have amber, which people did tell me if you wait like 24 plus hours, you can get old amber, and then there's another variant of amber, but we don't have that kind of time. But I am gonna spray amber on there. We have chocolate, and then we have chilled, and then we're also going to go ahead and put honey glazed on as well. And just like that, we're already up to 7 mutations on this thing. So we're going to convert that chilled to frozen by using a sea turtle. So there's our sea turtle. You good, bro? He's stuck inside the fence. I hope he's okay. And then we're also going to try to get all the pet mutations. So I'm going to spawn in a scarlet to get verdant. We're going to spawn in 2 chicken zombies to hopefully get this thing zombified. And we'll also spawn in 2 cooked owls. And finally, we'll spawn in 2 disco bees. So now we'll have a chance to get zombified, burnt, or cooked. Disco will get chilled to frozen once the sea turtle turns it wet. And then we can also get verdant on this, which will be good. So once we get a heat wave event, we can get paradisal on this Ember Lily. So far, we got a pretty good setup here. Now we just got to wait for these pets to do some stuff to give us these good mutations. And we got to wait for some events to happen. Hopefully, we'll get a windy event to spawn in again. And then hopefully we can get twisted, tropical rain, all that good stuff. You know what? I completely forgot one of our sprays. I forgot to put the cloud touch spray on this. There we go. So now we're actually up to 8 mutations. All right, our sea turtle just applied the wet mutation to our Ember Lily, so now it is officially frozen. We can go ahead and pick up our sea turtle, and I guess we'll go ahead and put another scarlet down so we can have double the chance to get verdant. So let's see what we get next. All right, hopefully this scarlet gives us the verdant mutation so we can get verdant before we get a heat wave. That way we can get paradisal, and I don't know if you can stack sun-dried with paradisal anymore. You used to be able to, but after this last update, I've noticed that you can't. All right, Scarlet, don't let me down. Let's get that verdant mutation done. Oh, let's go. He didn't let me down. I was like instant. All right, so now we have verdant. So we're set for a heat wave event. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up these scarlets. And then I guess because the chicken zombie usually takes the longest and the cooked owl, I'll go ahead and spawn in another cooked owl and another chicken zombie. And hopefully we get disco next. The disco bees are almost done with their cooldowns, and so are our original cooked owls. All right, let's see our luck with the cooked owls. Will we get burnt or cooked? We've never gotten cooked before, so that'd be cool to see. First cooked owl failed. What about the second one? All right, so just like that, we got zombified. Usually we get zombified last out of all of our pets, but this time we actually got it before we got disco or cooked slash burnt. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up these chicken zombies here. I am gonna go ahead and spawn in 1 more cooked owl so we can have 4, and then we're gonna spawn in 2 extra disco bees so we can have 4 disco bees, and that will conclude all of the pet mutations. And then we just have to wait for some weather or any events to spawn in. But so far this thing is looking good with all of the pet mutations on it and some of the extra ones that we got from the sprays. Disco bee's going. Failed. What about the other disco bee? All right, other disco bee's going. And apply. There we go. Disco mutation is now done. So we just need to get these cooked owls to give us either cooked or burnt, and then we just gotta wait for events to happen. So I'm gonna pick up all of our disco bees since they're good. We're gonna max out on the cooked owls, which we only have 5 of them. And then I guess to help, we'll spawn in 2 queen bees to hopefully cool these guys down. Or maybe we'll stick with 1 queen bee, because if we have 2, it might cool down the other queen bee, since these cooked owls, their cooldown isn't that long. Oh, perfect. We got a windy event. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my sprinklers ready to hopefully help with this. We're going to put a master sprinkler down. We're going to put a godly sprinkler down, and we're going to put an advanced sprinkler down. The basic doesn't really help with mutations, and hopefully that'll help us get windstruck. Come on. Oh, we just missed our chance. All right, our cooked owl finally applied the burnt mutation to our Ember Lily, which means we are officially done getting every pet mutation that we possibly can get. I guess besides Windstruck, since technically you can get that from the Pterodactyl. But anyways, this Ember Lily is looking pretty good. We just need to get some event mutations on this. So hopefully we can get Windy, Heat Wave, maybe some Tropical Rain, maybe some Aurora. Ooh, it's nighttime. This is good. We can get Moonlit, and we do have a Night Staff here. So hopefully we can get it to just channel us some Moonlit mutation real fast, real quick, real nice. There we go. We got Moonlit. Your Night Staff helped mutate a fruit. Thank you, Night Staff. Okay, I got excited for a second because I thought this was Tropical Rain, but it's regular rain, and we already have Frozen. However, if we had Sandy, I believe this would still help that Sandy turn into clay, and then we could get it ceramic. But because we don't have Sandy, this is kind of a pointless event to have. All right, we have another windy event, and we just got Windstruck like literally instantly from this one. So I guess it only takes like 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 windy events to get Windstruck. But so far, this thing total has 14 mutations on it. I'm hoping we can get a couple more on this. All right, so we literally have 14 mutations on our Ember Lily, and we have been sitting here AFK for 3 hours, and literally the only event that has happened is Windy and Moonlit. Like, our event luck today is horrendous. So we're gonna go ahead and check the value of the Ember Lily with all the mutations that we currently have on it. I wanted to get more of the event mutations, but the event mutations are really difficult right now without Brighter's help, and hopefully we can get blessed by Brighter again soon. But for now, we're gonna move forward and check the value of this with Steven. So without further ado, I will pick up this Ember Lily, and here is our beautiful Ember Lily with all of the mutations that we got on it, all 14. I wish we could have got this bigger. I wish we could have gotten more mutations, but we are going to see what the value of this is with the mutations that we did get. So without further ado, I'm going to talk to Steven here, and let's see how much this thing is worth. So Steven, what would you give us for this? 23 billion, and this thing again only has 14 mutations on it. That is a lot of money for this that doesn't have all of the normal mutations we get, like all of the admin mutations. So what do you guys think? Was this worth it for those 14 mutations? What do you think the value would have been if we actually got every single mutation today, including the admin mutations? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and spawn in some Mooncats here. So we got 8 Mooncats that we can spawn in, so we can start getting progress on getting a big, beautiful maple apple tree. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and place all of our sprinklers down here. So we're gonna get a master, godly, advanced, and basic, and then we're gonna put our maple apple right in there. And look at that, it's all rainbowy up here, so it looks like we might have a pretty big tree. To save some time, we're gonna go ahead and hit that grow all button on my main account. And oh, look at this, we got a sandstorm, so we might as well hurry up and do this. All right, we're in, and there we go. We have some maple apples. Now, these don't look very big. This one looks decent, but some of these don't look as big as I thought we might be able to get this. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up these, and I guess we'll give it a look and see how they regrow. But I'm going to go ahead and put some more sprinklers down, and we're going to try to get this thing to grow a little bit better. We want these Mooncats to hopefully affect this as much as possible. We want to get a big maple apple. Now, we do have a pretty decent sized one here, but I think we could do better than that. I think we could definitely get a bigger one to show up. All right, we have a lot of Mooncats right here. I think what I'll do is I'll trowel this into the sleeping Mooncats if they all pile in a certain area. Let me move that into that circle. All right, yeah, they're kind of all piling around in different spots. They're not like just in one area. Okay, let me try right here in between these two, or actually maybe even right here because there's a few of them right here. All right, and hopefully that helps. All right, I'm gonna hit the grow all button again just to see if anything changes, see if we get any big ones. So let's just YOLO it. Let's see what we get. Okay, that's better. That's definitely better. That's this one is pretty big. All right, so we can go ahead and pick up these other ones then. Yeah, look at this. We thought this was gonna be decent. I think this one's a lot better. Dude, what is going on? We're getting all these events, but we're not ready yet. We still got to get this thing rainbow. All right, we're gonna pick up all of our moon cats. We're gonna try and go through this quick. So let's go ahead and get our sprays done. Actually, let's go ahead and get that queen bee ready to get the cooldowns ready. Let's get the butterfly ready to get that cooldown ready, and then let's get these sprays done on our maple apple. So we're gonna go ahead and put pollinated on this. We're gonna put chocolate on that. We're gonna put a cloud touched, shocked, and then we will do honey glazed with the honey sprinkler. And there we go. That will be our 5 mutations. All right, so I was stupid and accidentally picked up my queen bee, so I've been sitting here waiting for my butterfly. But to speed this up, I guess, a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and give my butterfly this toy, which will speed up the cooldown, and now our butterfly will give us rainbow. So it's like the same thing, but yeah, you won't notice any difference here, but yeah, I had to wait a little bit longer because I'm stupid and dumb. All right, so just like that, our maple apple is now rainbow. So we can go ahead and pick up that butterfly. We're good. We have this mutation done. All right, so now we can go ahead and apply our sprays to this thing again. So we're gonna put our chocolate back on it, pollinated, shocked, cloud touch. We're gonna go ahead and put our honey sprinkler back down to get honey glaze back onto it. And then on our main account, we're going to apply amber onto it. I did that from over there. I got snipes, I guess. But now amber's back onto it. Now, my main account has some chilled sprays we're going to use, but we're going to wait on that because we're going to try to get this thing to get ceramic first. So to do that, we need wet and then sandy to get clay, and then we'll need to get sun-dried to turn that into ceramic. So we're going to wait a little bit, and we're going to not apply the chill just yet. We're going to do frozen after we get ceramic. So now we're going to start focusing on the rest and applying some more with our pets. So I have some disco bees here. Now, I know people are going to be like, Bandites, you can just use the new disco spray. Well, there's no spray merchant, and I don't have the disco spray, okay? So I'm going to be using disco bees to hopefully get us disco mutation on our maple apple. And then I'm going to be using the cooked owls, same thing here, to hopefully get burnt or cooked since I don't have those sprays as well. We're going to go ahead and use some chicken zombies, and then we're going to spawn in 1 scarlet. Actually, we're going to hold off on the scarlet for now and not get verdant on this just yet because we're going to try to get ceramic first, and if we have verdant, that sun-dried will just convert to paradisal. So we're going to wait on this guy, but we are going to spawn in 2 sea turtles so we can get this maple apple the wet mutation. And after we get the wet mutation, that should help us get this turned to clay, and then yeah, we could go through that getting ceramic. Our luck today is a little bit better than it's been the last few videos. We have another aurora happening, so hopefully we can get the aurora mutation on our maple apple. Oh, look at that. Just like that, the sea turtle already applied wet to our maple apple, so that's quick and easy. We can go ahead and pick up these guys then, and I guess we'll spawn in another disco bee and another, I guess we'll do another chicken zombie for the time being. Oh, I just saw something happen. Did we get it? Oh, let's go. We got Aurora. All right, this is actually going a lot better today than it has been. I think the update of increasing the events really helped. So we are up to 9 mutations on our maple apple, including Aurora, which is awesome. We're going to wait for these pet mutations to hopefully take effect. We got our disco bees and our cooked owls that will be applying some mutations soon. All right, our disco bees always seem to be the first pet to apply their mutations, but anyways, let me go ahead and unfavorite this real quick. But as you can see, we now have the disco mutation on our maple apple, so it's starting to look pretty good. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is pick up these disco bees carefully without picking anything else up, as I've done in the past, as we all know now. And I'm going to go ahead and spawn in another cooked owl or 2. Let's see. I guess I'll do another cooked owl. And I will spawn in another chicken zombie. So hopefully we can get these 2 mutations done. And then we just really got to get verdant after that, but we're going to wait for verdant just for a little bit. We want to wait until we get this thing, hopefully ceramic first, and then we'll focus on paradisal. All right, so we have some of our cooked owls here that are about to finish their cooldowns, which is good. And with that, we also have a Zen event about to start. Oh, well, they're targeting the big one, but they're failing. What about the other one? Targeted the big one, but fail. Okay, that's very sad. Our chicken zombies are almost cooled down as well. At least 2 of them are almost done. And then we have another one that'll be done in a few minutes. And we're gonna see the Zen Aura event happen in a second, which will help us get Tranquil on our maple apple here, which will be another mutation added on. All right, so we got our first little Tranquil beam coming over here. Let's see which one it hits first. All right, there we go. Our big one is mutated to Tranquil, so that's a really easy one to get, and that's just some extra multiplier for us to work with. Oh, let's go. Thank you, cooked owls. You guys, I love you so much. You're so nice to me today. All right, well, there we go. Now we have burnt on our big maple apple here. So we're stacking up some good mutations. I'm going to go ahead and pick up these cooked owls now then. Get these guys out of the way. We have another chicken zombie almost ready. So hopefully he does what the cooked owls did in target. I'm going to spawn in another chicken zombie and we'll spawn in a mimic octopus to mimic those guys to give us even more opportunities. All right, we have a windy event, which I was hoping for, and I'm going to go ahead and trowel our plant, I guess, over here, because for some reason, these corners over here always help get wind struck on our plants faster. Okay, the event ended. Let's see if we got any windstruck added. Oh, we did. Dude, I don't know why this corner is blessed right here. If you need windstruck, move your plants like right here. It seems to always work to get us windstruck. All right. I forgot that they re-added frost into the game, which if we get chilled, which because our plant is already wet, we might get it frozen, which we don't want right now, which is going to be very unfortunate. We have wet, and I probably should have waited. I completely forgot that they re-added frost. The only reason I added wet was in case a sandstorm came by, we could have gotten sandy, which would have made this turn instantly to clay. But I didn't count the fact that if a frost storm comes by, we can get frozen. We don't want frozen yet because once we get frozen, we pretty much, I don't think, can get ceramic. Actually, you know what? We probably can. I think if we get sandy, we could apply wet again. So this actually isn't the end of the world. It would just get us frozen earlier, which we didn't really want yet. All right, well, yeah, we now have frozen on our maple apple. Honestly, that is fine. We'll just keep frozen on there. Either way, we can still get ceramic, I believe. We just have to wait for a sandstorm now, and once this is sandy, we can add wet to it to get clay. Okay, it looks like one of our chicken zombies just applied zombified to our maple apple. Yep, there it is. We are good, which means we pretty much have every pet mutation done. We still gotta wait for twisted, which is technically a pet mutation now, I guess. But that will get this thing to tempestuous. And then once we have that, we also need to get verdant, which is also a spray or a pet mutation. All right, so I have literally been in a Discord call with one of my friends for like 6 hours talking, waiting for more mutations to get applied. We did end up getting moonlit to this, but we had a sandstorm twice and did not get sandy. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and just apply scarlet to this maple apple so we can get verdant on it. So I'm going to spawn in 3 scarlets and a mimic octopus just so we can make sure we get that verdant mutation, and that will turn sun-dried into paradisal. So there we go. We have all these pets set, and some of them actually have some of our buffs still added onto them. And while they focus on getting that sun-dried to turn into paradisal, over here on my main account, shout out to my friend Cole or Azook. He actually is letting me borrow his kitsune for this video so I can try to get chakra and foxfire chakra on my maple apple. And if I can get those two, that should be some extra good mutation buffs. So I have a queen bee spawned in my main account garden in there, and I'm going to go ahead and use that queen bee with the kitsune to see if I can get both foxfire and regular chakra on my plant. So apparently the kitsune actually applies it to your plant, and then it steals it and gives it to your other account. So I should be able to get 2 of these maple apples with all these mutations on it, and it should be pretty good overall. Okay, well, it looks like we're about to finally wrap things up here, and we finally got sandy applied to our maple apple after literally hours and multiple sandstorm events. So we technically could get this up to ceramic now, but I don't know if I really want to wait around for another heat wave event to happen, because I have been at this for like 8 hours today trying to get this one to be good for you guys. So I think we're just going to keep sandy, that way we have that mutation on there, and then if we can get foxfire chakra and regular chakra, that should make up for that ceramic mutation, and at least we still have sandy on it. All right, my main account's kitsune is coming over here to attack our maple apple. Okay, And it says Kitsune applied chakra. So it looks like my main account is getting one of these. And let's just go ahead and check. Yeah, there we go. Now we have chakra on this. We did not get Foxfire chakra, but we do have the regular chakra on this. And in total, we do have 18 mutations on our maple apple. We could turn this sandy into ceramic. We could have turned this windstruck into tempestuous, and we could also get Foxfire chakra and celestial. So there's a few things that we could have combined for better mutation chances, and it would have really helped us in the end to get a little bit more money value out of this. But overall, I think this is a pretty good maple apple, and I'm very happy with it with how many mutations we actually got today. Let's go ahead though and pick up our maple apple and check the value. All right, so here it is. Here's our big maple apple with all of these mutations on it. It looks insane with all the electricity and everything on it. I'm gonna go ahead and favorite it as well, just so I don't accidentally ever sell it. And we're gonna check with Steven. So Steven, what is the value of our maple apple with all 18 of these mutations on it? This maple apple is worth 197 billion, and I can only imagine that this would have been past 400 billion or so if we were actually got Celestial, Foxfire, Chakra, and a couple of those other mutations mixed together. With those admin mutations, I think this would have been very, very good, but for that many mutations on it, that is still pretty good. I do wish our maple apple was a little bit bigger, but overall, I'm very happy with that price. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you think that this is worth the value, or if it should be worth more. Make sure to also drop a like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.